So I'm recording this a few hours after part one, and you do need to like watch like a beginner tutorial for Photoshop for like paths and things because I'm not going to be teaching you how to do the basic stuff. It just kind of I'm assuming you already know. So if you don't know how to use the path tool, if you don't know how to use selection tools, um, be sure to learn. I mean, the basics is just you hit P, and then what you do is you click again. You can click in the middle to make another one. You can hold down Control to grab stuff to turn it into this. And then if you control and click off of it, then you can create another one. So I just wanted to add this just so you guys kind of know how the path tool works. I don't know if that helps, but I do suggest watching like a beginner path tutorial. So yeah, and enjoy the following video. Thank you. Alright, so let's try to do this pattern tutorial. We're probably going to do it in like multiple parts just because, I mean, making a pattern isn't a very simple thing. The webs do take some time. I might time-lapse some parts. Maybe we can fit it into one video. I don't know. I don't want like a 3-hour long video just explaining how to make a pattern. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's get started. The first thing you're going to need is you're going to need my pattern base. I have versions without muscle shading, low res versions, anything like that. So basically, I didn't say which ones have muscle shading and which ones don't. These ones are the ones without the muscle shading, I'm pretty sure. January 10th, January 13th. So yeah, the ones from January 13th are the ones with the muscle shading. We're gonna use those just because they look pretty. But once we get into separating the colors, then, I mean, we're just going to delete the muscle shading. But it's just so you can kind of see what the muscle shading looks like. So I'm going to go with the full res version, so we're going to download that. Yeah, so we're just going to wait for that to download. Oh, I created a copy. Whoops. We don't need that. We want to download this. Oh, that's low res. There we go. Just download anyway. I promise I'm not going to send you a virus. For this, you do need Photoshop. GIMP may work. I'm not sure, but you can just get Photoshop online. I mean, I don't condone illegal activities, but just go get some Photoshop, dude. It's not that. Yeah. Anyway. Time to open Photoshop. So we're gonna go do that. My very legit copy of Photoshop right here. Yep, see that? So we're just gonna wait for this to open up. And you're gonna want a reference picture. I have a reference picture on one of my monitors up there. I'm using like the new Mezco toy as a picture because I decided that's what I want to base my Ditko suit off of. And then next we'll just do a small video showing like how to choose your fabrics and things. But yeah, that's just going to be on my computer. It's not going to be like, I'm not going to go to a fabric store in person. I don't know. I feel like there's more options online where you can search for like just the right colors. I like my blues to be matte and my reds to be like shiny, like TASM 2, how the reds are more shiny. But yeah, we'll go over that another time. So we're just gonna wait for this to load up. It can take a minute sometimes. But yeah. And with the low res version, obviously, this wouldn't take this long to open. It's just the muscle shading and everything. There's a lot for it. I'm not going to show you how to do textures right now because we're not going to need those for this tutorial. This tutorial is kind of how to make your own suit, how to sew your own suit, how to make everything yourself. And if you're making your own suit, you really don't need textures because you're just going to trace it onto fabric anyway. But what you can do is basically just download Alex Service textures, and I'll put a link to them. And you can literally just search how to use repeating patterns in Photoshop or pattern fill layers or something like that. As you can see, this is about to open, so we're going to get started really shortly. So yeah, we're going to start with blocking out the color. That's what I like to do. So I'm gonna explain this pattern base a little bit before we get started. What I've done to make this and how you can trust me that it's dimensionally accurate and things like that. Looks like it's still loading a little bit, so we'll wait for that. But as you can see, I have a little guide here and like some ideas I had once you guys start making your patterns with this. I really would like to set up like a community workshop type of thing where, let's say, someone can, I don't know, upload webs that they like, or like they made a, like for example, if they made a base with webs or a color base or anything, or textures even, you could upload it to this like community workshop where you guys can help each other learn how to make patterns, because it's not a really well-known thing. I mean, most people will go download Calendrum's base, and which isn't even dimensionally accurate. I mean, it's great for its time, but a lot of people are still doing patterns with this old pattern base. And yeah, I mean, my muscle shading isn't perfect, but it's made from a 3D render. So it's a little, I don't know. I'm pretty proud of my muscle shading. I don't know how it looks in person too much. I haven't seen too many suits with it, but I'm sure in the future I will. But yeah, so I started with Clothe 3D, which is a program that you can make patterns in, and I took Kenlandrum's base and I edited it heavily, as you'll be about to see here. I made the gloves different, I made the back piece different, the boots, I edited the mask slightly just to be more like dimensionally accurate, and I got rid of that ugly leg seam. And also a problem with Kenlandrum's pattern base was that like the back of the belt was like, you'd go like this, and then the back of the belt would be coming to like a point. I flattened that out, so like, because the back of a Spider-Man belt is supposed to be flat. So I guess this is the one with, no, is it? No, this is the one that I just opened. Okay, so this is what you'll see when you open it, right here. So it's basically just telling you stuff. It's just, you know, good to read it. I just like having credit, you know, because I made the base. If you edit the base heavily, I don't see why you'd want to. Make it your own, then you don't have to give me credit for the patterns you sell with this. But I'm not really that strict about it. If you just DM me and be like, hey, what's up? I don't really care. So as you can see, here's my muscle shading. You can just change the opacity of the layer right here to change the opacity of the muscle shading. I'm happy with where it's at, like maybe a little less right here. But you see, it's pretty realistic. I didn't want to go too like blocky, because I find that the Kenlandrum, the Raimi base, the muscle shading really kind of looks like just cubes. I don't know. I don't like that. We also have a connected back piece over here, so it'll be really easy to make your back spiders and things like that. Alright, so what we need to start doing is go to our paths and add a path layer. And how you get to your, do this kind of stuff, you just name it, you double click it, and then you type in, we'll do color base. And always make sure you create and then name, because if you have something that's called a work path right here, when you create a new one, it'll make your work path disappear, which obviously that's bad. So a few things about this pattern base are, if you zoom in here, you can see I actually have some notches for us. Right there. And yeah, those are to help you make sure your webs line up. I'm going to turn off this muscle shading because I'm lagging a little. That might help. Oh yeah, that helps tremendously. So what we'd like to do is, you can use the muscle shading if you want to like help see where stuff is kind of going, because it's lined up with like anatomy and whatever. But I like to go down here a little bit, like one down. Up here I find is too high, right here is a little too high, but usually one down right here is good to start your belt, or like your chest. So you want to click right here, and this is the edge of the pattern right here. So, and then this is all seam allowance, so you don't have to worry about like this being the edge of the pattern, because if you disappear this, you can see that the edge of pattern is over here. If that makes sense, I don't know. And then you can actually, let's add a ruler. Make sure you have up here, I think it's under Windows. Make sure you have, it should be in here somewhere about rulers. Wonder where it's at. Just trying to help you guys out here. Rulers, under view. There we go. Sorry about that. It took a minute. It's been a minute since I've had to find that. So we do that, so we have rulers on the sides. And Photoshop doesn't come with these rulers on the sides, but you know, if you turn them on, obviously, I mean, they'll pop up. So what we're going to do is grab this ruler and drag it in the middle. And make sure it's exactly in the middle. Zoom in all the way. See, there's a pixel and a pixel. We want this to be in between those two pixels. As close as we can get it anyway. I mean, that's pretty good. Now you can just really see how high res it is. Like, even when you're zoomed in, you can't see the pixels. So, if you don't have a good PC, my PC might not even be powerful enough for the high res, but I've made several patterns with it. Just, you know, just test it out, see which one works better for you. The other one's still pretty high res. It's just less laggy for people with not as high-end computers. So I'm looking here. It looks like the belt thins down. Like, I don't want to call this the belt, but the chest near the stomach, it thins out quite a bit. And then it has like a smooth transition into the arm. So in order to do that, we're gonna bring this up a little so it like is smooth rather than going straight down, because then it's just gonna be like a sharp separation. So we don't want that, because this is like a, it looks smooth on the suit if you're looking at what I'm looking at here. I'll bring it down real quick so you guys can see what I'm basing it off of. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I really like this. I already started working on the face shell file for it. But that facial file will be on my Etsy if you want to follow along, like, to basically copy what I'm doing. Not that there's any problem with that. I'm just saying, you know, if you want to completely follow along, that is more than fine with me. So now we got to think about this. So you want to click here and then bring this point down right here. So that's good right there. We can't really see what the belt looks like too much because they don't really show it. They might on the other slide. That belt looks pretty thin. I myself like a thicker belt. So if you want to do a thinner belt, maybe you could be like down here. But I like thicker belts. So we're going to go like that. I just feel like the thinner belts, like the Spider-Man PS4 Classic suit, just don't look right. But to each their own, obviously. If you like thinner belts, then by all means, do a thinner belt. So I like to drag this point down a little, because Spider-Man really has that like curve right here. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but near the tip of the belt it curves. So that's a good thing to look out for. And then you can kind of bring this down to help like follow that. Maybe add a bit of a curve right here. You know, just have fun with it. That looks nice. Alright, now this is where the notches come into play. You see where this orange 1, 2? We're going to go down here. Orange 1, 2. And like if any of you guys are colorblind or anything and need me to change some of the colors, just specify which ones and I can totally do that for you, because I want everyone to be able to, you know, enjoy this and you know, try to learn this hobby. I'm not sure how I could help, but I mean, I'm willing, you know, to help you guys out if you need it. So now right here we have the blue, and it's the first one. So, you know, we're gonna click right here, and let's actually bring down where we want our glove to be. I have all these notches right here, you can see. I like, this would be like a longer glove. Some people like shorter gloves, so a shorter glove would be like down here, 4 down. But I personally like you know, this is like, probably right below your elbow right here. I just really like longer gloves. I just feel like they feel more authentic. So we're gonna go here, click right here, the first one, and then we're gonna make our way down to like right there. And then make sure that just lines up. It doesn't have to be exact yet. And then we can pull that up right there. And then you see we're gonna have a bit of a smoother transition here. So that should be good. And then we can do the same thing right here. You kind of want to reference what you're looking at. So there's yellow right here. So we could start down one with the yellow if we wanted to. That might be easier to sew rather than doing like a sharp corner right there. So we're going to do that. And we're just going to pull that out. And this is kind of the shape you want to be going for right here. This might be a little thick. If I can grab that. There we go. But right there, that's not bad. And then you want to push this up a little. And then there's that. And then another thing we want to do is grab this here and bring that over. And then left click and click and bring this over. Oh. There you go. This is not a fundamentals Photoshop tutorial. If you don't know how to use the pen tool, please go watch a video on how to do it, because I mean that's all you really need to know how to do is use the pen tool and some selection tools, but you can literally watch what I'm clicking. So we need a you know, we need to next do, we're going to put one in the middle of the back so we can kind of see where that's going to be. And just put it between these 2 pixels. I made sure everything was like 2 pixels so, you know, you can get it even. So you can mirror stuff properly if you need to like cut it in half and delete it. I hate when it's like 1 pixel and you're like, which way do I do it? So with that being said, with it being 2 pixels, use even numbers. So like 2, or 2 is way too thin, but like 10 or 12 for your webs. So it's 5 pixels or 6 pixels on each side. So next we're going to do the back piece. I'm going to do it right below this, like that. And then I'm going to do the slightest little curve to it. So it still kind of has a sharp point at the end. I like that when there's a little sharp point. Ooh, see, we almost fucked up. We need it to be right here. And then right here. Bam. Because. You see, this is the space right there. I almost put it right there, so that would not have lined up at all. But this base is pretty accurate. I would say within a few millimeters. So, I mean, spandex is forgiving. So you can stretch it. And sewing this should not be a problem. I mean, you know, you're going to have to know how to sew corners. But I'll go over that with you guys. I'll really show you how to sew this. Most of it's going to be one piece. Except for the mask. I think I'm going to try to do a hood system with the mask. Kind of go like here. And then like this. And then we'll have like a U-zip where it zips and then goes up this seam and zips, because this connects here, and then this is like a round seam, so you could kind of unzip it. We're gonna try that. I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm gonna test it first though before I even add that to the pattern. It'll be like an optional like different chest piece, and then there'll be obviously, like, we're going to make a detached mask too, because, you know, people like that stuff. Alright, so now we just need to do the boot, and we'll be good to go. So, I was doing my boots down here, but I found out that those were a little too low for me, so we're going to do one right here. And then we're good with that. We don't need that anymore. So, as you can see, that is separating all of the things we need. We can get rid of these now. Keeping this one over the back might be good, just because that's like a separate piece and you need to mirror it differently than the rest. But now we can go here and let's just add a new layer. We'll just call it colored block, I guess. And then we're going to duplicate the base. That's how I like to do it. And then hide this one. Keep the one locked, just as like a save point, so you don't have to go back and import other stuff. And then we're going to get black. And then we're going to right click. Well, first check your brush. And if it's not here, you can hold right click or tap right click and then, click brush. I like 10 for the color separation. I'm going to right click, stroke path, and then make sure it's on brush. I wish there was like a line tool, because in GIMP you can do stroke lines. So you can stroke like dotted lines and all kinds of stuff. I think it's really cool. But I feel like it's more limited in Photoshop as far as like stroking goes. I don't know. So we're going to hit OK. We don't need simulated pressure. And let's just see how this looks right here. Make sure this is 100 and this is 100. And then you see our lines are right there. So now what we need to do, you're like, oh, I only have half of my pattern. Well, that's because we didn't make the other half yet. And we just stroked it on the base. See, you don't want that. I guess it really doesn't matter right now. But copying and pasting it would be harder. So we're just going to go back. As you can see, I'm messing up some. That's okay. That's going to happen when you make patterns and anything. So we're going to go to color block this time and right click and click stroke path. Okay. Let's just make sure we did that right this time. Well, it doesn't really matter. We're going to join these two layers anyway once I flip this over. But yeah, just make sure you're stroking on a different layer. So we're going to grab this tool. It is the lasso tool, but I right click and do the polygonal lasso because I just think it's easier to work with a little bit. So we're just going to kind of click around, try to get all of our lines in there except for the ones that are on the back, and you'll see why in a second. Bam. Make sure, if you have like lines down here, make sure you're going around all of your lines. But my lines are right here and like right here and right here, so I don't really need to go around the whole thing. But you really could if you wanted to. And then we're gonna hit Control C, which copies, and Control Shift V, which pastes in place. Control V will make it like paste over here. It's weird, makes no sense to me, but that's how they do it. Then we're gonna do Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal, because we want it to mirror itself. And then we're going. You would think you could just use this move tool, right? But if you grab it, it's gonna grab something else. It's really weird. So select the layer you want. This should be the correct one. Yep. Edit, free transform, and then you don't have to worry about clicking other stuff. You can just, take your time with it. Make sure you are at least clicking on like part of the line and hold Shift while you do it, so it only moves on one axis. And then you can zoom in. I always zoom in to make sure it's even. And you can see that goes over a little bit, so this one needs to go over a little bit. And then they should come to like a perfect point. And as you can see, that's pretty even right there. Good enough for me, honestly. And now you can just hit the check. And let's see what happens quick if we hide the rulers. You can hit Control R. That doesn't get rid of the actual rulers. It just gets rid of the rulers on the sides. Okay. What about deployed rulers? I would just like to hide those guides, but that's okay. If anyone knows how to do that, just, comment, please. But, whatever you want to do, it doesn't really matter. And now we gotta do the same thing. Click on color block again. And let's go to the back. Bam. Control C, Control Shift V. And now we are going to... This is the new one? Yep. We're going to click Edit. For Transform. Flip Horizontal. Edit. And then Free Transform. Zoom in. It's like a little X right now. Like I said, hold Shift, because if you don't hold Shift, it's going to do this. So hold shift. So it locks in place. See, it can only go this way. I mean, if I move it up a lot, then it'll be like, okay. It'll move like diagonally and stuff. But, you know, if you hold shift when you just first move it, it'll usually just lock. And now we're going to zoom in once again. When you zoom in, it'll go back to its original place. But, you know, once you go back to normal, it should be fine. So now we kind of just want to get this even if we can. That should be good. Let's look at this over here. It's a little bit above that. Look at this over here. It's a little bit above that. That is good enough for me. Hit the check. Looks pretty even. Let's see. Looks good to me. And it's just a few pixels off probably, but you know, I mean, at the end, if you really want to, you can just mirror the whole piece. And then, you know, it'll be completely mirrored. Alright, so now what we can do is just join all these. So I join all these with the base copy and hit Control J. Or that should do it. No, that duplicates stuff. Whoops. Sorry about that. I was thinking about GIMP. So we're going to right click and click Merge Layers. And then as you can see, all these layers are one thing now. So now what we can do is grab our magic wand and grab the red. We can get just any red color. And then we're going to select all the areas that should be red. And make sure you hold shift while you're selecting all of them. Oh. That's taking a minute. Oh, I thought it was going to be weird. Okay, good. Sometimes I'll select like the whole thing if you do something wrong. Now we can click edit. Well, let's add a new layer. Edit. And then fill. And then foreground color. I think that's ugly. Let's just get a bit of a nicer color. Not that it matters because this pattern's going to be black and white at the end. A more muted red. Just, I don't want something blaring in my eyes while I'm teaching you guys. So you see there's a black border there. That looks nice. We're about to get rid of that. But yeah. We can always add it back because we still have that over here. Alright. Now for the hard part. Webs. I'm really liking this so far. Reminding me of the colors of my 7-piece. Alright, add a path. And we're going to do vert for vertical webs. I'm not typing that whole thing out. I'm lazy. Hit P to get your path tool. And first you want to think about, I always do the chest first. So we're going to start like with the neck right here. So, you know, Spider-Man's webs, he has like a bunch and then it kind of like fans out. Or that's how I like to think of it anyway. So I'm going to start like here with the neck web, maybe up here even. And that neck web is going to take us all the way down to the point. This is another reason why we have the ruler. Because, you know, it's going to do a lot of the work for us as far as getting that lined up. And now we need like the next web. So we're going to click at the same level, or, you know, at least close. It doesn't have to be exact. Let's save real quick. File, save as. Don't click save because that's going to save over top of your pattern base. And unless you want to re-download your pattern base every time, I think you should just click save as. This is a bad spot to save it. I'm going to save it in my patterns folder. I'm not very organized. We're going to do sewing patterns. And we're going to do Ditko. Just going to hit OK and wait a second for it to save. But you can still be doing stuff while you're waiting. So maybe we can drag a ruler to make sure it's even. Right there. We're going to click right here. Try to click between the two. And then maybe this web can go to like right here. And that should be good. Maybe up more. Maybe like right there. Maybe I'd like that more. Because then it's like the first web of that section. I think that's good. And the thing with Spider-Man suits is you always want to make sure there's not too much space between the webs. And when there is, to create a new web. So what we can do now is, you see the space gets quite wide right here. And then right here keeps like an even spacing. So we can move this over a little up here, even. And then right here is the problem right here. There's a lot of right here's, but you get the point. So we can click right there. That might even be a little too low for that, because you don't want that at the base of your neck. Maybe up here more even. And then you just want to take that all the way down to here. And what we do with that is click and bring it out a little. And click here and bring it in a little. And it gives you like that heroic shape. And then I think what I'm going to do is bring this one down. And pull that out a little. I'm liking that. And then we can click right here and add another extra web. I try to do it with my alignments. And that's good there. Never be afraid to add extra webs. A lot of people, like, some people don't like doing that. Some people just like spacing all theirs out evenly. That's fine too if you want to do that. But I feel like it adds like a nice look to have like a new web being added there. Or that's a big space right there. Maybe you can even bring it up some, like to right here, and have it bend in a little right there too. And then you have kind of like even webbing right here as well. That's where this next one starts, at the base of your neck, so it's kind of separated. Or what we can do to give it a more classic look is get rid of this one and bring it up. You space these out correctly and get this right here. And then you can do something like that as well. I'm liking this actually a lot. So we're going to go with this for now. And kind of make sure it follows the curve and then flattens out, because that's what will look most natural when it's sewn. And then of course you just want to work with, you know, spacing out your webs correctly. Alright, that's pretty good right there. So there's two ways we can do the web right here. You can either do one right here like this, and that gives it kind of a nice L shape right there. I've seen that done. I think that's what I'm doing on my 7-piece. Or what you can do is you can do like the comics most of the time and just extend this line down. Make sure it's in the right spot. And make sure your webs, like, don't be afraid to overlap them on the edges a little bit, because they're not going to get, like, affected anyway, so don't be afraid to do that. And then this web is, like, flared out a little, which I do like for my 7-piece, but for this it's supposed to be more classic, so I'm going to make sure it's straight down like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we keep this same spacing right here for the rest of the belt. So we're going to just, you know, go down. Oops. And do that. And then, like I said, you see a curve right there. So don't be afraid to follow that curve a little bit, and then it'll slowly flatten out like that. Because that's what's going to look most natural. Because this is going to get flattened out when you sew it with the other piece, and this will follow the curves of your body. I think that's a little too curved right there. And then that's just to like kind of hug the emblem and go around it. Because if you just have it flat, it's just going to go straight through your emblem and it'll look weird. But this kind of like flares around the emblem. Kind of accentuates it a little bit, if that makes sense. Alright. So now, let's move on to the arm. I like to do the arm next. So we're gonna do, what should we do here? Well, maybe this piece next we can do. Or the vertical webs for the mask, perhaps. So this could really, I think I'm gonna end a few of these webs here, because I like two going from the mouth. So like this web would end here, and then this one could go up to the mouth of the mask. So calling it the mouth is kind of gross, but you know, we don't need this anymore. Oop. And then that'll be like, I'm gonna say it again, the mouth of the mask. And then we need some vertical webs as well. Maybe this one can, what are we gonna do here? Because you gotta think about it like this. This web right here is gonna be, you're gonna puff paint over that. That's gonna be a seam line. See how we're spacing our webs? So our next web over here will be like right here, because you want to space them out correctly or it'll look weird. So we want to do maybe a web that goes up like this. And then that will kind of be our web right there. And then this one would also go kind of like right here. Just kind of reference what your pattern looks, or your reference looks like. And then you're gonna have a lens covering most of this. So it's mainly just making the mouth look pretty. The mouth area. And now, of course, we have the vertical web on the mask. That's literally the easiest web on the suit. And then it looks like he has two webs right here. So we're gonna go one right here. And then this one will intersect through the lens a little. And it looks like a circle, so we're going to bring that up a little. We don't want a huge circle, though, so think about what your mask shape is going to be as well right here. And then we're going to have another web right here, maybe. Or maybe in the middle, because you want to look at your back piece and see what that looks like. So maybe in the middle would be better. And then we can add like a web here and a web here, just so the back isn't too bad. Maybe adding the web right here would be better. And then we can add an extra one right here if we need it. So we're going to add the web on this one. And then we're going to bring this down. It looks like that one connects as well. So we have an easy one this time. Sometimes you got to like hide the webs with the lenses. So that's good. And then of course, you need a web right here. So we're going to grab that because you want to hide this seam. And then that one can go right here and just try to follow that seam line. It's okay if it comes up right there because your lens is literally going to be right here. So bam. You might want to bring these in a little bit just to shape them a little nicer. Make sure there's even spacing between them because you're going to do like that, you know, that Spider-Man type of shape. Well, that one's going to go all the way over. So maybe we want to bring that closer to the middle and even these out more. Because it's going to go all the way over. It's going to be double this. That's more like it right there. I like that a lot. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to do the side of the neck / the side of the head. Your ear would kind of be right here. So we can go right, this goes right here. So what I'm going to do to be like smart is you can see that this is right here. And then I'm going to just take it right along this seam. And that basically hides our web right there. It's It's kind of hard to align it sometimes. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's not like you're getting this printed. It's gonna be, you're selling this yourself, so that's gonna be like on the side of your head, so that'll come down, and then right here you'll have your web curving with this curve. So think about this as well right here, because this connects directly to here. So let's say we know there's going to be a line right here, and we know there's going to be a line over here or right here. So maybe we can do a web here, and then like a web between these two. So let's put this one in the middle, just to kind of even them out. You don't want it to be too uneven, or it might look weird. So try to follow the curve a little with that to make it look nice. That should be good right there. And then, of course, we can move on to the arm. So we're going to go right in the middle, like we said we were going to do. And we're going to go to the pointer finger right between them. I like my webs to go down to my pointer fingers. Like between my fingers, sorry. And then we can have a web obviously right here where those two parts are going to connect, because it's all about hiding the seams to make your suits look professional. If you're not hiding the seams, then you're not doing it right. The main thing with Spider-Man suits is with the blue sections, you want to see the seams, and on the red sections, you want to hide the seams. And then I think in this corner right here might be a good place to put a web. So we're going to put that on the pinky. Pull this out. As you can see, we need to curve these a bit more. Because we're trying to get like even spacing here. Maybe even starting this over here would have been a better idea, so we can pull it this way more. And then this one could be like this way more. And then this one could be like over here. Or maybe starting it on the purple would be better. Let's see what we're working with here. We could do the purple. Because that corner right there. We could just put a web down here instead. So yeah, let's start that on the purple. That might look better. It's all just playing around with it, honestly, with patterns. Just whatever you think is going to look good. It's like art. It's not too set in stone. And you kind of want to rotate these so they're like curving correctly. And yeah, we have like a weird curve right here. That's okay. What I sometimes will do is like, here, let's see here. Since we moved this over here, and put that right there. And then we have a big space right here. So what you can do is add a web right here. And then add a web right here. And have it stop right there. And then you have more of a kind of even spacing. Or even you can stop it pretty abruptly. Hang on. Right here. Curve it a little. And then you have a web that's going to like have two webs, and then there'll be a single web, and then it'll all be kind of even right here. It looks a little too big on this side, honestly. So we're going to pull this over, flatten this out a little. I really like even arm webbing. As even as I can get it anyway. I always think there should be 4 right here. Unless you're doing like super dense webbing on a suit, of course. Then, cases change. But we're trying to avoid like this big gap right here. So we can add like a, just a little guy right there. And that'll help out. That's just how I like to do it. I don't have a problem with adding webs in places where I think it'll improve the whole look of the suit. Because like, for example, right here on the 1, 2, so the second one down, so like right here, we have a lot of webs coming in, so it's okay to try to keep that same spacing instead of having like big gaps on your suit. Most people aren't going to notice where the new webs start anyway. Next, what we want to do is, well, we better finish the arm, huh? So let's kind of block it out a little. So try to keep that same spacing to make stuff look good. And then remember, we're going to have one along the seam. It's easier to follow this seam, in my opinion. So we're just going to do it on this side. So look how easy that was. And then you just got to like rotate a little. Bam, follows that curve. This one can be a little harder because you kind of got to like, maybe we can start over here. Oops. And then that'll be flat. And then remember, you want to follow these curves so it like conforms, the webs like warp with your body. So it's kind of a weird game. We got to make sure all these are going to look right. And these anchors are weird. Let's fix that. You can hold Alt to mess with the anchors if you didn't watch the tutorial like I recommended, but you really should. Watching like a basic path tutorial. And then you can do this going right here. And then maybe like a web right here. Or you can do a web all the way down. And then just, you know, space it out. And bring that over here. You don't want too much webbing. I'm trying to even them out good. That's not bad right there. And then I really like to extend these lines on the gloves, so that's kind of what we're doing right here. The webbing will naturally get more dense near the hands because, you know, that's where that's going to happen. You can even bring these in some right here to kind of help accommodate for that. And then look, we have a lot more space to work with. And that looks a lot nicer right there. So we can have this here. And then bring this in to follow the curve of the wrist. Do it again right here. And then we're going to try to fit one more in. And then, like I said, you want to follow that curve of the wrist, so we're going to bring these all over a little. And now this webbing is a lot different from what is on the reference, but I'm just kind of showing you how to do everything here. So, you know, I just want you guys to know how to like fully fill this out with webbing. It's a lot easier to do less webbing, but you know, webbing is usually more dense on the gloves and boots than it is on the shirt. It's usually more spaced out on the shirt because there's only 4 sections, where this also has 4 sections and it's a lot smaller section of the suit. So if you don't want this here, you could easily just not use it. Like, that's fine. I just think it would, you know, clean it up more. So we're going to go with that. And then also remember, you do have this piece of webbing right here that goes down. And then it goes down right here and it stops right there. You could leave it like that, since you could put vertical web or horizontal webs. Or you can take advantage of that, because it'd be right here. And you can do kind of like that partial web too to fix that. And then you could even do it, bring a web to the point right here, and then fix that small point right there, and bring that out. And then you'll have like a few little sections on the arm that really line up, and then bring it into one piece rather than just being a big spacey mess. Bam, bam, bam. All right. I think it's time to do the bottom of the belt, and then we'll do this and the boots last, because the boots are the most complicated, because look at these. I mean, come on. Of course, with this, you can literally do whatever you want. We're going to do this when we do the horizontal webbing, because I like to do like a certain pattern with it. All right. So we're at 48 minutes now. That's crazy. I think I can do this in one go. It'll be like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, but it'll be beneficial to you guys. And then in another video, I'll show you guys how to do the color separations quick. That'll be like a, I don't know, 20-minute video or something. So we are going to do, just kind of get an eye for that. And then there's a web there technically, so let's add that. So technically there's a web there, and then there's going to be a web here. Oh, I wasn't even looking at that. This spacing might already be correct. Bam, 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 bam. That looks good. That looks like similar spacing, so I'm just going to follow that. So I'm going to go like that, and then I'm going to go down here. Then we're only doing the webbing on half of the back, because we'll just copy and paste it. Bam. There's the belt. And then there is the middle belt piece. And then, of course, we're going to have a middle right there. And then I'm not even going to model this web, because that's just like a complicated curve. I'll just puff paint down that. Could put a neck zipper there if you needed to. I'm going to sew a separating zipper here, and then an invisible zipper, and an invisible zipper, because that's like the most movie quality zipper. And that's what I want to show you guys how to sew, because there's no tutorial for that. I haven't done it before, but obviously I'll practice before I show you guys. And also what you can find on Spider-Man suits is like this really tight spacing on the neck, and then it gets thinner on the body, or wider, I should say. Yeah, so take into account where it starts getting wider around where the purple ends, and then where the purple is on the first one, it's really tight. So we're gonna bring this in. Might even be able to get rid of that and bring this out a little. The less points, the better, because your curve will be smoother. Just keep that in mind. Might even be able to. That's a curve there, and that's a curve there. Might be able to play it off and have a web like triangle off of that. I don't know. Or you can go like this and have this come up. Ooh. Like that. And then have it like conform into that web right there. And then I'll kind of add more webbing to your mask so it's not such a big space right there. And then of course you have a big space right here, but usually the top of the mask, you know, does have more spacing. Or if you want to, you can flatten this out, curve it down a little, curve this one down a little, and you know, that's more Spider-Man-esque at the top of your mask there. Usually the top of the mask will have the wider webbing, or if you want, you can get rid of this. I just like going back and fixing things. I don't find anything wrong with that. And space this out more this way. Bring this up. That can stay right there. And we just gotta like clean this up. Maybe widen that. Kind of want this to stay down here. You don't want the curve to be too wonky. Let's delete that and just totally restart that curve, because you saw it was getting really weird. And then something like that should be good. And then that's not too big of a space. Like I said, your lens is going to be covering that anyway, but you know, I just wanted to account for that a little bit. And then once the horizontal webbing's on there, I mean, it won't even matter. So I actually see two things of webbing right there. So perhaps what we can do is, this is on the top. Ooh, and remember, there's a piece of webbing right here as well, down the seam. So we can actually add another piece of webbing right here. Put that down here. See, it's always a battle. So now we need to space this one out more in the middle. Space this one out more in this one's middle. I'm gonna add a little bit of curve to them, because I really like having some dimension to my webs. And then of course you need to space these out or it'll look weird. Maybe bring them all down a little. That's not bad. That's what we were missing right there. So now we just bring this down. If you can't tell, I'm not perfect at this. It's been a second. So, but it's just, you know, just good things to know, and we didn't start the back yet, so it doesn't even really affect anything. And this is right between your eyes. So this is generally where you want to make your middle of your mask. So right here, just remember, this is literally where your eye hole will be, right here and right here. And then your lenses will probably come into about here and here. Don't try to make this too big, because if it's smaller, it won't be too bad. I mean, look at TASM 2, it has a really small one and it looks great. So now we want to look at this. So this is between these two. And so we're going to click right here. And I'm just going to go all the way down with this one, make it real simple. Or what we can do we have one on that purple one right there? Indeed we do. So we can bring this down. And remember, there is a webbing right here. So keep that in mind, that there are webbings on every single seam, for the most part, that are vertical seams. And then what you can do is add another webbing right here that just literally like kind of starts out of nowhere. And then pull that down. I did this on my suit and it looks really cool. Obviously, if you don't like that kind of style, you can, you know, kind of do whatever you want. So let's keep in mind that it's thinner around the neck. So the second purple one, which would be the, see, 1, 2, 1, 2, which would be the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth pink one. So on the fifth pink one is where the mask would start being dense. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at that. Dense up here in that case. And then where does it widen out? About the second one from the bottom, which is the second one from the bottom on the pink. As you can see, this starts to widen out right there. Second one from the bottom on the pink, and that starts to widen out right there, which, you know, that adds up. So sometimes you just got to delete your points and remake them. And then we're just, it's inevitable, we're kind of have to make like one more right there. If you want it to be pretty, you can kind of just, you know, follow it down like that. I don't really mind making the webs out of anywhere. I don't know, I think it can look good. Obviously, not all suits are like that. Some people despise it. If you really want to figure out how to make all of the webs start from the top, be my guest. It can look great, but if you make the web start from the top, then you're going to have to find a spot where it connects up here too. So that's a downside of that. But, you know, just to keep the webbing consistent on the suit and to get like a movie quality suit, sometimes you have to take some risks and do some different things rather than, you know, just what you think is like all, you know, regular to the comics and stuff like that. Because we're making a webbing pattern on a human, it's not a drawing, because from a drawing you can make it look good from any angle. But from on an actual body, I mean, you know, you kind of have to compromise a little. Alright, that's done there. I like that. Kind of has like a stair step, and once we get our webs going, it'll look really good. There's not too much of a gap anywhere. I like that. If you wanted to, you could bring this up a little more so it starts on like the top of the head. and then bring this out. And then you won't notice this one because it's literally like on top of your head. Like probably like back here some. And then this one would be like, you would be able to see this one. This would be like at the, not the base of your neck, but like maybe the middle of your neck. But this is the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the third one up. 1, 2, 3. That would be about here. And then 1, 2, 3. As you can see, this one already starts right there. So it's kind of a common theme where the webs are, you know, starting and ending. So it'll look all right. So now we have to do this pesky boot webbing. So I'm going to pull up a reference picture. I'm going to show you guys it real quick. It's in my Discord. There's the boot that I'm basing my boot off of. I sketched it. Here, maybe I have a picture. I sketched it in Blender. And then this is what it looks like sewn. It looks really good. I'm going to change a few things. I don't like how that, like, maybe there's a picture of the side of the foot. I don't like how it curves out and down. I'm just going to make it curve flat. But besides that, I mean, look at this boot. It looks like really solid. And you don't have any wrinkles right here because of my special boot pattern. So we are now going to, you know, base it off of that. So I'm going to open the original in Discord, and I'm just going to kind of zoom in. So I'm going to be looking up and down a lot now, but it'll be worth it. So we kind of want to follow the theme of the dense webbing, I think, on the gloves. I think that would look really good on the boots as well. So let's just get some guidelines going. So you want to start one here. And of course, if you don't want dense webbing, by all means, you can get rid of some of these web lines if you don't want them. That's okay. So think about this. Whatever goes here has to go here. So we're going to put one. Oh, what I'm looking at is actually the right foot, but we're going to do it on the left foot. That's okay. So I think we're going to put one here. And then, remember, follow the curve. So now that means we have to put one here. And then we can kind of curve that down some. There. And now I want to put one right next to it right here. And it looks like I did that as well on the other one. And then kind of try to flatten out that curve or start to. And now that means we have to do one about right here. Pull that down. And now we need to do the pesky web that I don't like doing. Oh, actually that one's flat right there. It's weird because I'm looking at like a mirrored version rather than like an exact. We're gonna go here. And then I think what we can do is take this and go here with it. And then this one, this is a seam right here. So what's on our seams, as we've learned? Webs. So many pattern makers don't make their webs on their seams. Why would you do that when you could have like a perfect looking suit if all your seams cover your webs? This applies to regular pattern making too. All of this does. Because don't you want to have the best looking suit? Well, yeah, probably. So we're going to go like this. And then that'll smooth that out. And then this can go right here. Delete this one. Add a curve, maybe. And add a curve here. Oh, that's twisted. Let's click Alt and pull that out. The boot can be some of the most complicated webbing because it's like going around a foot. It's like, why are feet so hard? I don't know. And you have like that sharp curve right there. I don't know. You just gotta work with it. I should have made that rounded, so we're just gonna round that off. Bring this down. Maybe pull it out a little. Because this is gonna be on like your heel right here, so it won't matter too much. I feel like I could really smooth out that curve though. That's gonna bother me if I don't do that. See, that looks good. That is good. I will settle with that. There's a gap right there. That's no good. Alright. Sorry for making everything so complicated. Yeah. Alright. Time for some more dense webbing, huh? So, let's go... This is a little too close, I feel. So, let's straighten this out here. Bring this over a little. And that's good. So, now we need this one. So, we'll just go right here and kind of follow that curve. But you want to kind of start to like straighten it out a little bit. Because by the time you get to here, this is kind of going to be like going, let's see. This is the middle web, I would say. And then this is going to go like this way. So you want to start curving it the other way. Let's work on this side a little bit now, so you can kind of see how that's going to work. Let's figure that out real quick. And you see there's a curve right here too, so you got to accommodate for that as well. And let's go the next web right here. This one's easy because it just follows that. And then that will be our center web line of the boot. So you can go here and literally just make a sharp angle because this is going to get sewn weird anyway. So this web line will actually be pretty straight right down your foot. So that can be the web line that literally goes down the middle of your foot. So that one wasn't too bad. And then this next one needs to kind of go like down to here. Let's bring that down. Oops. Grabbed that weird. This is huge, dude. Let's see here. Alright, bring this back. That's good right there, actually. That's a good curve. Now we can get rid of that and kind of like redo it because it looks janky. Alright, there's a curve there. I would really like it to be here. Let's get these a little closer. And then we can add another web, maybe. And then put it right here. Remember, there's going to be like a bottom of your foot right there. Just try to keep that in mind. And then that goes right there. Don't worry, we'll even all this up. We're just kind of, blocking it out right now. And we'll spread them all out even and make them look pretty. Maybe this will just be part 1, and then we'll do a part 2. Because I don't want to make one 2-hour long video. That's kind of... maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We're just going to keep going, see what happens. I mean, that one's relatively straightforward. Literally the back of your heel. Just a straight line. And then we got to work towards that straight line, though. So we got to curve that out. Curve this in. See how that kind of works towards being straight? It's like curved, and then this one's less curved. And then it's like... And then same over here. And then that's pretty... Let's uncurve these slowly. It's like wood grain almost. And then let's bring this out right here. And then that's not bad right there. I would say that's a pretty solid boot. That should look good. Because I pretty much followed my guide that I have. I mean, this is a little different, but it should be okay. Oops. And then, yeah, there's the vertical webs. So let's How about we trace these? First, you want to just look around, make sure everything really looks how you want it. I think this should come over here more, honestly. Oop, let's add a point right there so that doesn't mess it up too much. I'm going to delete this point and bring it back in. I like this bottom to be spaced out nice and good as well. So it kind of has like a nice flow to it. And then this web's a little too straight. Ooh, there we go. All right. That is some boot webbing. It's pretty even. It's not perfect, but you know, it's going to be stretched over your leg anyway, so come on. It'll be all right. But make sure they are all past this thing. Because like you don't want any gaps in your webbing, just in case you are getting it printed. Okay, so what do we do with this? Let's save, because we just did a lot of work. We're going to take a little stretch. Alright, so now what we need to do, let me sit up. Get some bad posture, huh? Okay, so we are going to add a layer. And this layer, we need a new folder. And drag both of these in there. Come on. Wait. Okay, these aren't in there yet. There you go. And you can call this like reds. And then this will be our vertical webbing. We're gonna keep all the webbing separate until like we finish. And then right click and click create clipping mask. What that does is if you take your brush, come on, and draw. Oh, it has the red color. And draw, it's not gonna go past it. See? Look at that. Beautiful webs. Alright, so we're gonna click paths, right click, strip path. This is gonna take a second. So just wait. Oh, we forgot to make that red, huh? We're gonna have to fix that. But I know how to fix that pretty quickly, so don't worry. I'm really liking these colors. But I'm doing more like a baby blue. This is literally the same exact colors as my 7-piece. Any moment now. Just kind of waiting. This pattern is much higher quality than my last 7-piece pattern I did, but this isn't going to be 7 pieces. I might release a 7-piece version of this just because, I mean, this webbing looks solid, dude. So, yeah. Anyway, now what we need to do is let's just kind of make sure everything looks good. We have a web there on that seam. We don't have a web on that seam. Do we have a web on that seam on this side? No. Which one would be easier? Probably this one. Do we have a web on the purple seam? Yeah. Oops. So yeah, we're gonna add a web on this pink seam here. Just add a new, or just use a work path. It doesn't matter if you forgot to do a seam. Or actually, you know what? Screw it. We'll just puff paint it over after it's sewn. Like, when I sew my suits, I don't like to trace the seam webs. Like, I don't like to trace these with the marker because I don't know what my seam's going to turn out like. I like it to perfectly match up. So, now what we need to do is do some vertical webbing. I don't like that right there. Maybe we should, you know, just add a new layer, clipping mask, delete this. And this is why we save it, because you can just click on there. Oops. And then maybe something like that's better. I feel like this one is the culprit. And then that looks a lot smoother. Push that out a little, bring this in a little. Maybe rotate it flat. Look how much smoother that is. See, don't be afraid to go back and fix things. I don't know how this mouth webbing is gonna look. Maybe I should flatten it out a little right here. Bring it in some. Like that. And then bring this in some a little. Keep like an even space right there. I don't know. Let's see. I say we're done with the webbing and then we go right back to it, huh? But don't be afraid to, you know, fix your stuff. So make sure you're on the new layer you created. I mean, you're probably... This is like kind of more of a walkthrough than a tutorial, but there isn't a pattern tutorial, so maybe it is a pattern tutorial. It's the only one on YouTube as far as I know. Go for some orange chicken right now. That'd be really good. I know you guys don't care what I want to eat, but you know, I'm getting hungry. So we're just gonna wait. A lot faster this time, actually. Maybe it's not. Maybe you guys are timing me and like, hey, that's not faster. Oh yeah, much better. Look how much smoother that is. And then all this already looks good, of course. And that looks solid. That looks good. Yeah, that's fine. That's good, that's good, that's good. Alright. Who wants to guess how we're gonna do this? We are going to, of course, go here and go like this. You can like go up and down and left and right just by moving your mouse like to the edge. Go up, over, and bam. Control C. Oh, sure, it's just a mirror button. Control Shift V. And I created a copy. Make sure you turn the... Well, don't turn the clipping mask on for that quite yet. Edit, transform, flip horizontal. Edit, free transform. Zoom in. Drag it to the right. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Main thing is making sure that... Come on. You just gotta zoom into the vertical webbing, because you don't want this thing to be, like, super thick. Whoa! See, that's not even. Ooh, which one is it? This one. Just hit the check. I already know all the rest of it's gonna line up as long as that lines up. Now, wait a second. Zoom out. Oh, yeah. What is that? What is that? It's okay. We'll put a piece of webbing there and you won't even know. Wow, look at that. Looks really good. Okay. Now we need to do... Because if we put a piece of webbing there, it'll go here. At that corner where these two meet. And that'll be good because I'll hide that seam right there. Man, that worked out perfect. Okay. Ooh, I don't know about that mask webbing. I don't know about that. Right there. Looks kind of gross. But seeing the full thing can really help you. Like, see that kind of... Maybe if we use this and go and went up instead. And then skip, like, we skip this one, we use this one, we skip this one, and then we use this one. And then maybe it'll be more even. Maybe that's the thing we should be doing there. Alright, back again, back again. So we are going to add a point here. And we're going to click these, hit delete. We're going to keep that there for now. We're going to go here, extend that, and bring that out. And delete that, so it's like a smooth transition. And then this can come up here, but that might also look nicer now that it's going. I really wish we had a piece of webbing right here. I think I'm going to add one, like just, well, because like that would look so good right there, and I would just follow the seam and it wouldn't even matter. I think it's time to be a little rule breaker and do it. Send it. All right. We're going to add that. Excuse me. Clipping mask. There we go. Stroke path. Okay. That might be too thin now right there. I think I need to bring it out a little. Darn. Alright, we're going to go back and do that as soon as this completes. Can we hit cancel? No, we can't. That's okay, that's okay. Alright, we're going to fix that. You know, just pull it out a little. Might give it that nicer shape, and then we can... Let's actually just delete that and make a new one. And then bring this down a little because it's too close between those two curves. And then that might be like a nicer mouth shape right there. And then these are all nice and even. Maybe if you push this up a little. And it's like curving and all cool. I could even bring this in here. And then push this up there. And then that's even as well. Ooh, that might look weird with the lenses though. So let's just have it end right where this lens is going to be. And then you don't have to worry about it. Bam. And then, of course, that's like a heart shape. We need a circle, so this needs to come up. And then remember, this is going to be 2, so this one needs to be the smallest one. And then these all are like spaced out. Looks good. Alright. Let's add a new layer and then just delete this. Okay, I promise this is the last time. I think that looks good right there. While we're at it, we might as well see what was going on down here. I think it was just twisted. Just go like this. And then that shouldn't be a problem now. Yeah, everything is good. Okay. Woo! That was a moment there. We're hitting 1 hour and 30. This is like half of a movie. Looks like my recording glitches when we're doing crazy stuff, but I mean, you know, that's bound to happen. Where'd my music go? The music is gone. Ooh, we're lagging, dude. Oh, it's because I'm taking up so much RAM with the path. So we're just gonna sit it out for a second. We're just gonna wait, and then maybe my music will come back. This feels like a live stream more than anything. Now, would you look at that? My music's back. This kind of feels like a live stream that I'm doing and just recording instead of being live. But I'm just talking to myself. like a psychopath. All right, we're just gonna chill, wait. I want this suit making series to be very casual. It's like I'm your friend. I'm teaching you. It's not professional. We're not like, if it was professional, I'd be wearing a suit. I'm wearing a Spider-Man hoodie in every single one of these videos to keep like the continuity. Because I wore this in the facial tutorial. I'm gonna wear this now. And yeah. This one's really taking a long time. And I barely changed anything. Come on. Alright, I had to cut that. That was taking way too long. But, we're back. We are back. Oh yeah, much better. Look at that. Yes. Alright. Same as last time. We are going to duplicate. Well, first, don't forget to select everything. So, we're going to start down here and make our way around. Just make sure you get all your webs. That's the most important thing. And you can click outside of this, too. I don't know if you guys knew that. The main thing is just not getting the back webbing in there. Alright, Control C, Control Shift V. Edit. Transform. Flip horizontal. Edit. Free transform. You guys know the gist by now. Zoom in, of course. You better not be rotating. There we go. Oh, too far, too far. Something like that might be good. And then I can just go back over here. Oh, too much. And then we can just zoom in. Come on. And then if you wait, it'll come back. Alright, now my webbing is over here, and it needs to be over here. So we're just gonna... I don't think I can do it by being this far away. But you can hit your, a little trick. You can hit your little arrow keys. See how it's moving over? Isn't that neat? Ooh, we want to, it made me zoom in. Sorry about that. But yeah, I have my hotkeys as zooming in. Is that, ooh, is that even? I would say so. Ooh. Honestly, it's 1 pixel. Come on, Zach. Who's gonna notice 1 pixel? Whether or not it's even. I think it is, though. And remember, after we join these, I want to hit Control J because of Blender. We're gonna turn on to a clipping mask, so it like hides the ugly edges. Oh, much better, much better. And then because this is even with this right there. Oh yeah, that is so good. Okay, I'm really happy with this. Yeah. All right. So now we need to flip the other section. Click right here. You could just really copy half of the vertical web and like paste it over. But I don't know. I feel like that's a lot harder. Because then you have to line up the exact half. I mean, it might snap to the ruler. I'm not sure. I'm not a pro at Photoshop. I'm not nearly as good at Photoshop as I am at Blender, but no one else made a pattern tutorial, so I need to step up to the plate for you guys. And like, how else would we do this whole suit tutorial series without making a pattern? You guys want to learn how to do everything yourselves, not just a face shell. I mean, that's where I started, was with face shells. There's nothing wrong with just doing face shells, but you're here because you want to learn how to do everything yourself. Because if you're like me, you didn't want to pay everyone to do it for you. Which is, I mean, that's great. For a second there, I was like, where's all the webbing at? And yeah, there we go. Remember, this is going to get pulled together closer, so it may look really spaced out right now, but it'll be okay. Like, these are going to be right next to each other, and then these are going to be right next to each other, and it's going to be closer right here because of that seam. All right, vertical webbing done. I think we're going to stop that here, and then in the next one, we're going to do the horizontal webbing and separating the pattern, and, you know, of course, I'll have the gloves and stuff. Yeah, so thanks for watching. And of course we'll do the circle. And yeah, these will probably be uploaded pretty short after each other, but you know, just wanted to let you guys know. So thank you. And I hope to see you guys watching the next one. Yeah, and then follow along and we'll sew this. I'll show you how to print it out. I think I'm just gonna go to Staples. They can print, it's either 34 or 36 and then an infinite width or length. That's what I heard. I talked to a guy yesterday, so I might just do that. Probably cheaper than buying sheets of paper yourself and taping it all together. But I'll show you how to do both. I'm not gonna, I might tape it together for like one piece just so you can see. But yeah, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next half, which will literally be like in 5 minutes for me. I'm just hungry. All right, see ya. All right, so we're back. Part 2 might be a separate video, might not sure. We'll see. Part 1 was about an hour and a half. Might edit it down a little, but this is probably a new video. So welcome to my suit tutorial series. This is probably part 3 technically of the series, the 3rd video, but the 2nd part of the you know, tutorial, the pattern tutorial. So anyway, let's get started. So this is what you should have. If you don't have this, go watch part 1, because, well, you can't do horizontal webbing without vertical webbing first. All right. So in this tutorial, we'll be doing the little nose thing, the horizontal webbing, and then we're going to separate the pattern. And I'm going to show you how to do like a seam line right here, because this whole big piece is too large to do in one go. So first, an obvious problem we're having is this is blue. We never fixed that in the last episode. So we're going to grab our selection tool, go to layer 1, select it, go to layer 2, press B, hold Control or Alt, and then click, and then edit, fill, foreground color. There you go. That's fixed. Okay, so now we need horizontal webbing. We're going to start with the nose dart, like I said. So we are going to create a new layer. We'll just call it nose thing. I really don't know, dude. But yeah, so we are going to just start here and go down and click like the center of each one. I got this pretty even. I'm pretty proud of that. And then you kind of just bring them down in. And then maybe on the last episode, we'll go over spiders. Not sure. I'm not sure if I want to do spiders. I kind of like having a base pattern that you guys can kind of do whatever you want with. Actually, let's bring this over here. Bring this out and bring it up so it's more of a curve. I'm going to have to fix that right there. Let's make sure that's still in the middle. Ooh, that's a nice shape right there. Having a little lag. Recording does make my PC lag a little more. But, you know, I mean, that's... As you can see, that's not in the middle. I wish it would lock to pixels. I don't know if there's a way for me to do that. But yeah. So we started with the nose. And now what we can do is, that looks pretty good. So we're going to do stroke that on a new path, or a new layer. This is part of the back, I remember. Let's make sure that looks good before we... Because I had an issue with that. I accidentally moved it over after I ended the video. Okay, so that still looks good. So we're going to merge these layers. We're going to take off the clipping mask first. Then we're going to add a new layer. Make sure you got black selected. And then we're going to stroke the path on the new layer. Look at that. That's pretty perfect. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to delete half since it's like a weird shape. Control X to delete. Like I said, you needed another basic stuff. I said that in the first video. So we're going to go Control C, Control Shift V. We don't want all that. We're just going to right click and click duplicate then in that case. Edit, transform, flip horizontal. Edit, free transform, hold shift, same as everything else. And it locks right in place. So maybe deleting half is the way to go. And you just hit OK. And we're just going to move that ruler quick just to see it. But look at that. That looks nice. Let's just see the full thing here. I really like that shape right there. I don't think it'll be too big or too small. I think that's just right. And I like that it has like that, you know, that good Spider-Man shape to it. I thought I was missing a pixel in the middle, but it's just because these layers aren't merged yet. Sometimes they'll have like a weird shading or rendering glitch. But once you merge them, it'll be okay. And keep these separate, just in case you notice anything you need to edit. So you know you don't have to go back. I'm lagging. Alright, okay. Totally didn't have to recreate the whole pattern. Yeah. It like crashed and then I tried to change like the resolution from 250 to 125, and then it like crashed, and I totally had to like take screenshots of my video and like realign it. But I mean, we got it. So I mean, it's right here. It's not that big of a deal. It's a little bit lower res now, so it's faster for you guys. But look, it's still, I mean, you have to zoom in a lot to see the pixels. It doesn't even matter. So horizontal webs time. Well, let's do the nose thing first. So I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna just name it nose, and then paths. See, this is much faster as well. So maybe I'm gonna edit what is in the resources. Nose, and we're just gonna, you know, go around the nose. Well, that last one you want to go across all the way. You can just go like this and add the little indents, I guess. And then of course we can right click, stroke path, bam. And then what we can do is delete half of it just to help out. And then I will duplicate this layer. I wish I knew all the hotkeys, that would help. And then edit, transform, flip horizontal. And then I found out Control T is the hotkey for free transform. And there's that. I already got to this point before, but yeah. So this looks good right now. So now we're gonna add the horizontal webbing. So let's merge these first. Add a clipping mask. Add a clipping mask, and then name this horizontal. And now we're just gonna add a new path and name it horizontal. I definitely recommend creating backups of your patterns if they're like super high res, because mine just totally like destroyed itself. But whatever. So what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna pull my reference back up because I don't have it right now. And I have way too many Google tabs open. Just once again, I'm going off like the Mezco, the new figure. Really looks good. I think I'm gonna change the colors in here a little bit to match that. So we're gonna just, you know, fit the right vibe. Can I get? That'd be cool if I could get the colors from a different tab. Alright, we're gonna call it like this. It's like a pretty bright blue, but it's not. It's like a weird color. Let's see this. That's not right. Needs to be darker. Such an odd color. I already found the perfect fabric color for it though. You know what? Screw it. Let's just cheat to get the color. I'll just paste this in here. Oh, I can. There he is. Let's just get him on top. Look at that. And then we can just boop. There's so many different colors. That's good. And then oh, perfect. And then we can do the same for the red. There we go. Perfect colors. And then we don't need that anymore, so let's just delete it. And we also don't need this, so let's delete that. Okay, horizontal webs time. So we are going to start with like a pack of webs that go right here. I like to start with the mask, you don't have to. And then I like to go down to this point and then continue the rest of my webs. So this first line of webs is kind of like an oval shape almost. But you gotta think about a spider web, it would actually go all the way around. And then the next, well, let's actually do the loops. So you just grab these. Oops. My thing is in the way. There we go. That looks good. However, this is too high right here. That's gonna look like a point if we don't fix that. I don't want the webs to be too pointy on this. I want a pretty classic look. So make sure to make the first one pretty shallow. And then the next one is like a little ways up. So like up here maybe. And then try to line it up with a notch to make things easier. And then this one matches up as well. So we can just go down like that. And then, oop, we forgot to select that first. And then you can pull these down. I feel like this isn't nearly as hard as Blender with as far as like bad things that can happen. I mean, besides you losing your whole file like I did, but I'm sure that's not that common of a problem. And pull this one down a little because we want like an even space so we can put a web line right against that seam. And then this one is like right where the chin is. I don't know how accurate like to the chin this is. This should be the chin right here. I don't know. I'm hoping. But you know, whatever. Alright, that's good. This one needs to come up a little. And now we just need to start going down the neck. I like to do the whole chest before I move on. So we're just going to start making our way down the neck. And the trick you can do with this is actually just go all the way down with your lines. However many you want to do, I just like to follow my guides I made because they're even. There's one about every 3 centimeters, so you know your webbing will be even if you follow the guides. I mean, this isn't the most even thing in the world, but you know, it'll look a lot different once you curve it. And then you can start, this is how I do big sections of webbing. I like to add all these, and then we'll go back. And what we'll do is we'll select all of them and pull them all up at once. And it works for most of them. And then you can go like this. Oh, it didn't select these. Weird. Make sure you're selecting the cubes. Because if you select like their little handles, it'll pull up weird. Now don't let go of control and you can pull it up. And you can go like this. And then that's a good amount. Right there. You might want to bring these littler ones down some. So I'm gonna go back and do that. It just helps, and then you can just see what you need to adjust after, and then this one needs adjusted. I feel like these are too extreme. Maybe doing one by one is better. I don't know. I've done both, so now I did want to start giving it like a little more depth. So I like to go right here so we can hide that seam as well, so we can start to give it more of a shape. And then we can, you know, start to lift these up. Maybe start to pull some of these down, so like fades into it more rather than just being like, you know, right into it. And pull that one up a little, and pull that one up a little, and oh, not quite enough. And now it kind of fades into it instead of just falling right down in. That's a lot better actually. And now I like to just kind of do it even all the way down. So we're gonna go here, and then maybe like here, and down a little more. It's okay if the webbing does get a little bigger as you go and a little bit more spaced out, but as long as you kind of try to keep like you don't go big small, you should be good. And then I like to put my bottom one right here, because usually there is a piece of webbing right here, and then we can do one like between these two, and then we'll just, you know, go up like this. Hopefully some of you guys start making your own patterns, or even, you know, some sewing patterns for yourself. That would be cool. And then I'm gonna go all the way down the belt. And then it kind of comes back up like that. Looks good right there. Maybe this one needs to come up a little more. So it's really just kind of like a guess and check thing. It's hard to see when you're actually on like the mode where you see all the dots. And then we can go over here. So the night has passed, and I really didn't like how my webbing was looking on the side of the mask. So this probably is going to be in the middle of the video, just like as we're making this piece. But here we go. So if this piece looks different than the rest of the video, it's because I redid it. Because you can see right here, here's the edited thing that I drew over in Blender. Here's the original. So it just lines up all the webs much better, and it gets rid of that like triangle shape. But besides that, it doesn't change too much. So we're just gonna add a new layer. And we're just gonna use our path tool to simply you know, get that webbing going. And of course I'm gonna clean it up a little bit because that's like messy. And I'll put that there. And I'm just gonna do the whole webbing like this. Usually I like to do it on different path layers, but this is a small piece, so it doesn't really, I mean, it's fine. You can really do it however you want. If you want to do all your webs on the same path layer, that's fine. I stayed up like, I got like 3 hours of sleep last night because I was just trying to figure out how to make this mask webbing work. It's crazy. But I don't know. I like my stuff to look very professional. I don't want it to look like just like a regular pattern. Because this is for sewing. It's a little bit different. And I think we're using a value of 6 for the webs, if I'm not wrong. Oops. Alright, so now how we fix this is we get rid of that, and then I'm gonna delete the horizontal webbing here. I'm gonna delete the vertical webbing here. And now we're just gonna do it all on, like, what we can just add a new layer just in case. Layer 12. Make sure you have the right color. Make sure your brush is the right size. It is. And then we're gonna right click, strip path. And then of course you just, duplicate it over and it'll be good. I just wanted to add that so you guys could like get the edited version as well, because that looks a lot more professional than this over here. Because it has like a square instead of this triangle shape once it gets sewn. So yeah, chill right there. We already added the purple web line, so we already know there's a web line right here. So now we're just gonna skip to what we think the next web line should be. Possibly even this one, just to get that out of the way. So, because we're gonna have to straighten that out, like for sure. But it's good to just get it out of the way. That's not even at all. There you go. Looks kind of cool. Like a legit spider web. And then we're gonna kind of flatten it out a little more. Like progressively flattening it out. And then eventually it's just gonna be like this diagonal line type of thing. And then you're gonna kind of straighten it out as you go. It's so hard to get a straight line. Alright, see how it's like diagonal and it slowly straightens out from the curve. And then don't forget to put a web line here, because I feel like it gives you that, and then we can do it in the middle. And then I feel like we can move this down some. Maybe that's fine right there. Maybe that spacing is good. Looks fine. I feel like it's more crammed up here, but also the webs on the suit are more crammed and they kind of work their way out. But maybe we can move this one down a little. Here, let's move them all down a little bit. Try to even it up a little. Nothing wrong with that. There, that's a lot better actually. I'm glad I did that. So now we can add our horizontal webs. Now bring them up enough where you can see the peak, like where it comes back down. Because if you don't, then you won't really be able to see what you're doing. This webcam's, maybe I just need to move. I haven't been showing you guys. That's not good. Well, here, I'll show you now. So I was working on this piece over here. And what I did is I connected these like this. So you can just look at this if you'd like. And the reason I made this like this, here. I realized I wasn't showing you guys. I'm sorry. But I think I stopped right here when I did this piece with the mask. So I'm just going to show you this right now. So right here, we have this piece right here like this. And the reason that's like that is because when this connects to here, and then this connects up, this won't be like a triangle. It's more of a square piece, because I don't like those triangle pieces. And then this is kind of nice and even. And then here, you start with like a curve, and then you're slowly flattening it out more. And I just started curving these. So I'm going to sit here for a second so you can just look at that. Pause the video if you need to catch up. And then we're going to go back to doing this. I mean, once, like... Ow. Once you, do it a few times, like, by now you probably got how to make webs. Like, you probably don't need my help anymore to finish the rest of the suit since you already did all the vertical webs. But, like, I don't know. I'm still going to go through the whole thing with you guys because I got to separate the colors and stuff, and you guys need to know how to do that to, like, sew the suit. Especially if you're making your own pattern and facial and custom design stuff. You can literally make any pattern with this. This doesn't just apply to Spider-Man. Any bodysuit pattern you can create. So that's pretty solid. I wish I would bring this up more. So maybe what we'll do is... here. It just comes down too much. So what we'll do is we'll delete these. We'll bring this up here. Then we'll bring these up. And then when we mirror it, we can just erase it after we make the webs. Because that's more of like that nice shape right there. And that kind of flows better. Now, the best thing you can do for this part is grab some rulers. Ooh. Hold shift while you do it so you can do like 2700 and then like maybe 2900. Perfect. And then 3100, 3300. And then we'll do one more at 3,500. And then the rest will be hand webbing. And that gets real tight. So it gets really tight starting at the hands. So we're just going to make our lines real quick. So we're just going to do that. Try to click the centers as good as you can, because you don't want to go back and have to adjust them. And make sure to hold control and click off after each one. But it might be easier to actually just add the vertical webbing now, so we just have to grab it after. Or like subdividing it, if you watch my Blender tutorial. You know what that means. Which I don't expect you guys to watch every single one of my tutorials. It's like, pick and choose whatever you need, whatever skills you want to learn. Like, you know, you don't need all of them. I just wanted to learn all of them so I could teach you guys. I had to search the RPF and like ask tons of people on my Discord server and all kinds of stuff to learn all these skills. But you know, it was worth it because now I can show you guys. And you don't have to pay. It's just free on YouTube for anyone to access to make their own suits. Because I really enjoy like seeing all the people making their suits these days. I feel like it's like a little RPF renaissance with my Discord and everyone in their homemade suits. I really appreciate it. It looks really good. I don't care like how good the homemade suit looks. I feel like a homemade suit is always better than a Sentai's own suit because there's that authenticity to it. It doesn't matter if your first suit looks bad. It's just that process. You made your own suit, like you care, it means something to you rather than just it being, you know, you just bought it. Not that there's anything wrong with buying suits, but you have a lot deeper connection with your suit if you made it yourself, in my opinion. So we're gonna go every 50 now, I think. Nope. We're just gonna guesstimate. That one could go down a little more. And then the last one will be at the fingers. And then what I'll do is probably like copy and paste the hand webbing and like duplicate it and flip it over here. Because I'm pretty sure these hands are like pretty similar. I wish I made them exactly the same, but you know, we all have our moments. And then you can like kind of guess where the thumb piece is going to be. Because obviously that is going to be a thing. Like the thumb webbing, I mean, my thumb piece is attached on my pattern, as you can see, and there's no finger gussets, so it's easier to sew. If you need to, like, I have like skinny fingers. If you need to, like if you have bigger fingers, feel free to like scale them up a little. I don't know how you could exactly go about doing that. Or maybe just cut out more fabric, like out here. That could work. So now what we can do is get rid of all of these, which is going to take a second because there's just a lot of them. I don't know about you guys, but all this tight webbing gives me like Universal Studios vibes. Repping the Universal hoodie. But like, I don't know. All the tight vertical webbing gives me... Oh, that's right, we already did these. So now we can go one by one instead. Maybe that'll work better. Since it's all vertical. Or it's all just moving up and it's all the same size. It's not that bad. You can do this method with like the gloves and boots for the most part. Although I've seen a lot of boot webbing have like a certain flow to it for the horizontal webbing. I just make mine flat. I feel like that's what Spider-Man's boot webbing kind of supposed to look like. Because then it's flat and it wraps around your ankle and like foot, and it looks nice. And then if it's like, it goes down and up on some suits, and I don't like that. I just like it to look like a bunch of bands being wrapped around your leg. Something weird is the Avengers suit from the Avengers game. The webbing on the glove is like a corkscrew, so it like goes down, and then it connects here, and then it goes down, and then it connects here, and then it goes down. So that's something you could do as well. And it's like one continuous strand of webbing just wrapping around your glove. That'd be cool. It's just not for me. So that's an option too you can do, especially with these alignment marks. Well, I guess they're not on this version of my pattern base on the gloves. But you don't really need them for the gloves. You can just guess. Because if you have a ruler, it doesn't matter. Because the gloves and boots, they sew literally. This sews to this. It's easy. So same with over here. This sews exactly to this. And then sew the boot first, because then whatever is right here, you can stretch and make it fit. But you want your webbing to line up. So always sew the bottom of this first. Then you can close it up right here. So start at the foot and work your way to the crotch after you sew up the shirt. But I'll go over all of that. Don't worry about remembering that right now. You really don't have to. Let's play a little game. If you've gotten this far, comment your favorite thing about No Way Home. I just want to see who's actually watching and like who's just clicking on the video to make the views go up. So, yeah, comment your favorite thing. If you want to leave a like, that's great. Do whatever you want. I don't care. This is literally just to help you guys and my friends. So, yeah. Look at that. That looks nice. All right, now we can add this webbing here. Kind of not the right way to do it. The forbidden technique, if you will. But I don't really care. Look at that. And now this is kind of hard because you gotta like space them out evenly. Doing it one by one's easier. So that's nice. I should be going to bed in a half hour. That's not going to happen. I have to wake up at 6:30 for work, but you know, Whatever, I'm making a pattern tutorial like a cool dude. I'm happy that I was able to recover my pattern. And then I like leaving like a blank spot on the thumb. I don't know, at the tip. It just looks authentic to me. And then you can start these like right here. Click on the green and then click on the red again. Like this. Click on the green and click on the red. And then you can move it down a little. Just kind of reference your other one you just did. And the reason we're clicking on the green is to keep the same like spacing, so it doesn't get messed up when we like curve it. So that's good. And it's easier to adjust if you have like little points you can move. So we're gonna go ahead and curve the first layer just to see what it's looking like so far. What I really recommend doing when you make your patterns for sewing is leaving the bottom of the fingers blank and do your cool palm design you want to do. Because then what you can do is you can just, once you sew your glove, you can just copy it. So you can sew that with this side, and then you can kind of trace it with like a washable marker. And then you'll have like perfectly aligned gloves. That's what I'm doing with my suit. So I'm not going to show you how to make that finger webbing because it's literally the same. But by all means, if you want to copy and paste this and just put it here, you just got to cut it off right here. I think they're little different sizes. Or maybe you could overlay these fingers over the other ones and like trace them. I mean, the base is meant to be edited. Just don't edit too many things because like it is proportionally accurate right now. Like, for example, if this is 151 millimeters, I think it's like 360. Then this is 151 millimeters, so it lines up perfectly. Like the webbing, you don't have to worry about, oh, is this going to line up? Because it is. I made it that way. I wanted it to be sure that you'd be able to sew it and have no problems whatsoever. Because my 7-piece suit pattern, that's why it says, like, buy at your own risk, whatever it says. Because it really isn't perfect. I mean, I kind of threw it together for myself, and then people were like, hey, would you sell this? So I just kind of threw it up on the store. I mean, it's one of my best-selling items, so I'm definitely going to change this into a 7-piece pattern as well, because I'll just extend this down, and I'll cut it off right here. And yeah, I'm not going to show you how to make, like, super complicated 7-piece patterns and stuff. But I will show you how to separate the colors at least. So, like, if you want to make colored fabric patterns for, like, Mr. Zentai, which they have really good quality. They used to be Zentai, and, like, I know they got a bad rep, but, I mean, it's been a long time, and there's other creators that have had a bad rep before, and, like, we don't look at them wrongly anymore, so I feel like maybe they should be given another chance. I've gotten some test prints from them, and the fabric was like really good quality. The puff paint stuck to it. I didn't wash the fabric after I put on the puff paint, so I mean, it could, the puff paint stickability, if you want to call it that, could change. But yeah. A 36-minute video. So far, we're not even close to being done. And then that's probably it for the pinky right there. The pinky needs a little bit more, maybe like 1 or 2 more. And I have like traced my hand with this, and I have pretty big hands, so if you need to bring in the fingers a little, That's fine. I try to make them a little extra long, so you can, you know, have that space. My first pattern base had like extremely long fingers. It was obnoxious. It's like, that's just wasting paper to print them out. Like, it would be like a finger and a half just to really push like that. I don't know, example. Also, this pattern will be up on Etsy after, if you like don't want to make your own pattern and you just like watching along, just having a chill time, having me in the background or whatever you're doing. That's fine. I don't mind if people buy their own pattern, like buy my patterns and make their own suits with them. I encourage it actually, because I've been doing this for a good bit and I know how to make them like properly sewable and stuff. So if you want to buy my pattern and not have to make your own, the link will be in the description. And it looks like we're finished up with the finger webbing. I feel like, well, that'd be a good spot to put like some knuckles, so maybe we can just leave it like that. So we're gonna save, because we don't want anything to like get lost if it crashes. And it's looking really good, so that's the last thing we would want to happen. I mean, I'm sure we'll have to go back and change some things, but you know, that won't be so bad. If you want to, you can even add webbing right here, like I was talking about before, to hide these seams. I'll do that for you guys, for whoever buys the pattern. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Not sure what's happening here. Let me just go back. That's not perfectly aligned, but I'll fix it. And then right here, I'm leaving a little space because sometimes I mess up this corner to sew it. So I want a little extra space right there. All right. And then I'll add the black lines back after, don't worry. So like you can puff paint that black line, because a lot of people do like to have that black line. So maybe I'll have that on I'll close in the red sections a little bit on like, I don't know, like I'll deselect the hand and I'll do it on the edges, like right here and right here. Not right here, obviously, but you get the point. So now we gotta look at this and try to get it back to the notches, because we're gonna do the back next. So make sure you know which ones you skipped. I like to take a picture of it with my phone, and then I can like set my phone next to my monitor, and then I can like kind of not have to go back and forth a million times. So I can just go down here now. Now I can just look at my phone what I did. So we have the first pink one. Let me zoom in a little more on my phone. I doubt this tutorial will be up tonight. And you connect it to these two. That's good, and it's on the second pink one as well. We're going to be using a light table with puff paint for this. I was going to use like a vinyl cutter and stuff, but I realized like most of you guys don't have that, so you can't follow along. And the whole point of this is so you guys can follow along. Like, if you don't have a computer, I understand you can't make the pattern. That's why they're on Etsy. Or maybe you could commission someone to make you a pattern. Probably not me. I'm usually pretty busy. But if you need like a small edit, like just like detached fingers to make like a Miles pattern, which I will be making. Yeah. Because I'll mainly be focusing on sewing patterns. I don't care about patterns for printing, because I want to encourage people to make their own stuff. That's why I make the facial files. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I was just going. So we skipped the top pink one, and we went to this right here, which I don't know how I feel about that. Or we're gonna go with that for now. If I need to edit that, I'll edit that. Usually at the top of the head, there's a big space anyway like that. So it's not so bad. You see there's a big, it would connect to right here, and that kind of blends in with it, so that wouldn't be so bad. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But my next concern is that I skip a space right here too, so maybe I'm just gonna say I don't care and add webbing here anyway. Like this webbing right here isn't gonna line up with any of the other webbing on the neck, but it makes it look a lot more uniform. Which is okay, you can do that. Like, I mean, here, I'll show you. Like, up here, we did the same thing. That looks nice, or right here, we added a random web that looks nice, or over here. So it's okay. My idea for this suit is to, like, go here and cut this part of the mask off, and then have an invisible zipper right here, and it goes up this seam. And you can like unzip it and then pull your mask off like a hood. That would be so cool. Because that part doesn't really need to stretch too much. It's mainly the neck and like the face. But the actual part that's like right under your chin isn't like, it doesn't need to stretch too much. And the way this is made, I mean, it's kind of loose there anyway. So especially once you unzip it all the way up to your ears. And if your facial is glued in, you could literally just like the Flash. That would be cool. Alright. So we are going to go add this webbing now. Oops. Why is that? Oh, we didn't add the in between, the ones that are on the actual webs. Oh, and then you can hold Alt to make these sharp again, because they're not. There we go. Alright, there's the back piece finished. I don't know if I like that we skipped that one. Maybe I wouldn't care if a web line just came out of there out of nowhere, since it's on like the top of your head anyway. But that section is big, and this section is also big. So maybe it really doesn't matter. Because if I move this up, then this section's going to be too big. Alright, the part we've been dreading, the boot. So, same thing with the glove. We're gonna start here. We'll start at 7,440. We'll 7,640. 7,840. 840, and adding 2 would get us to 8,840. 8,240. 8,440. 8,640, and then the next one would be like on the foot. We don't need to hide that seam right there because it's so small. And then the foot webbing gets real special, so let me pull that picture up. I can just get it on my phone, I guess. Oh, my phone's gonna die, actually. Hang on, let me open Discord. Join the Discord server. Look, there's all these cool people building stuff. And look at all these channels. You can sell stuff. All kinds of stuff you can do in here. Obviously try to stay like tame, but I'm not, I'm not crazy. I'm not gonna ban you for most things. Alright, we're gonna put this up here, I guess. So the webbing needs to start and be like a trapezoid. So it goes down, over, and then up, and then down, over, and then up, and kind of follow like a U shape here, and that's how we make that webbing work. And then it goes, once you reach this part, you just kind of go down the toes. but we're gonna follow these lines. Or maybe it'd be cool if the webbing got tighter as it went down the foot like we did with the gloves. Not that tight, obviously, like this tight right here. Imagine a Spider-Man suit with toes on it. Like the toe socks. That wouldn't... Yeah, that would be gross. I try to keep these entertaining. I don't know. Like, I'm very good at keeping myself busy, like talking to myself. So I don't have a problem with that, I don't think. Ooh. I guess we don't want to do that yet. But you can just, well, you want to kind of click like this first. Because if you add the points after them, they'll be curve points. But right now they're anchor points. Because we're just clicking. And now these are curve points. See how they have the handles on them? Yep. We see Zach. You know what we can do for the black lines are on the red, actually? We can take our suit outline that we did for the red and blue, and we can stroke it again, but maybe do it thicker with like a value of 40. And then it'll go over top of the red, and then that'll be nice. I mean, this pattern will already kind of look like a 7-piece pattern once it's done. You could really easily edit it to be that, probably. Because all the red and blues will be separated. And I guess you could send it to a company to get it sewn if you wanted to, since there's no textures, it's just webs. And then maybe you could do like screen printed blue fabric. That would be cool. And then you would have a really like easy to sew suit because the webs are already printed out for you. As long as the company like doesn't scale it, like you scale your own pattern. Which I'm still learning how to do soon. I don't know, I'm talking to a guy that worked on the, I think it's Panoptica, the fan film. He's really cool. His name's, I think it's Arthur. And yeah, he's going to teach me how to scale patterns. So I'll have a video on that before we sew the suit, I'm sure. So I can show all you guys, because that's another thing that is not known really in the community, is how to scale a pattern. Which, you know, that's one of the things that should be known. But from what I've heard is, hang on, let me add these middle points quick and then I'll tell you guys. From what I've heard, you just measure, like, let's say you measure your waist. So you can measure your waist. This would literally be like right above your butt. That's where this seam is, like where a U-zipper would be. You measure around your waist, and if this is the same length, then you're good. I think it needs to be within like 3 inches, and then you can measure your height, which this is, I think it's 5'10" to 6 feet. So if you're in there, you'll fit. And then you can scale it like widthwise and lengthwise if you need to. Usually just lengthwise, but that also squashes some features, so you just gotta, you know, think about stuff. So now we just gotta, let's curve all these and get rid of these. And then we'll do the foot. And then we'll join the red to the webs after we trace the webs. And then we will, separate the red and the blue. That's what I was gonna say. Lost my train of thought there. I hope you guys are excited for Batman as much as I am. I think I'm more excited for Batman than I was for No Way Home, just because it's like a gritty Batman, you know what I mean? It's not like, I don't know. I feel like he's gonna be a really good Batman. I like him. I haven't seen him in too many movies. I saw him in Harry Potter. I never watched Twilight, so I can't say if he was good in that. But yeah. Are you guys planning to buy um the new Mezco figure that's I'm basing this off of? Because I am. I think it's gonna come with like a Green Goblin. Maybe I can get my brother. We can make like a Green Goblin cosplay. Or maybe, since this is gonna be a super classic Ditko suit, I'm making like a Daredevil suit for my brother right now that's like crazy. Here, let me pull it up. This has nothing to do with the tutorial. You can totally skip ahead if you want. I just like showing my stuff. So, Daredevil. Did I not include the... Well, you can see that this is like the leg. And then we're going to use this for the arm. And then right here we'll be using... Well, you can't really see what we're going to use off that. But we're going to be using that for the arm guard. Like, it's going to be crazy. He's going to have like a super tactical Daredevil. And then maybe I'll make another pattern for him to go with this suit. And it'll be like a red velvet Daredevil suit. That'd be really cool. Because you really can make any patterns with this. Like, especially for sewing. Since it's dimensionally accurate. You can make Batman patterns, Superman, anything. And I wish more people would use this pattern base because these legs and the feet, mainly the feet, how they work, they don't wrinkle. And I was inspired by Alex Serva for his like foot design, and then like by Joel House for the way he does his hands. And then this is all me right here, just going up and connecting the back and stuff. I mean, a lot of people have done it. It's not too special. But yeah, so I think we're gonna go bam, 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 bam. So we're gonna start here and then go across like the U shape that I was talking about. Well, we want to start to close our gap here. Sometimes I recommend you trace your webbing with like a washable marker and then sew your suit and then puff paint your suit. But you can do whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter. The main thing is you need to stretch out your suit when you puff paint it. That is really the main thing. So if you have like some poster board, and you can stretch out your fabric while you puff paint it, that'd be great. Because then it won't crack as much. But you know, I mean, whatever you got, it's not that crazy. I need this back to see my boot pattern. Let's get here. Where are we at? This really does feel like a live stream, and I'm just kind of recording it. But I mean, you guys kind of need to see every part of the process to learn, because this is much different than... Where is that? I feel like I'm blind. Oh, I'm literally on the channel. Oh my gosh. Embarrassing. You guys really do need to see every part of this process to learn it correctly, so I mean, that's just part of it. Okay, and now right here you see how it's like we can't really go down anymore. I guess we can one more time. That looks nice actually. But we really need to start going up. Oh, I don't know why I did that when I'm going half. There, not like this one over here. So now we'll go down here, and then down here. And then you probably won't even use this one at the tip of the toe because it'll probably like go underneath your kung fu shoe or whatever. I'm gonna show how to glue kung fu shoes. I'm gonna show how to sew. We might 3D model a little tiny pair of web shooters together. For the spider, we might cut it out of leather with like an X-Acto knife and glue it on. I'm not sure what I want to do for that yet. Something cool, not just like a foam spider sprayed with Plasti Dip. A lot of people do that. Nothing wrong with it. I just feel like it's not that like durable. So you could just rip foam. Or with like, if you have like a sheet of leather that you cut out, granted it would take a lot more passes with the knife and it would take longer, but you want something that lasts. We might even mix latex in with the puff paint, so we don't really have to worry about stretching out the suit too much. Because I have a huge bottle of latex. And if you're making your own suit, you want it to last. You want it to be like, you know, last as long as possible. And another reason I'm making this suit is because my 7-piece, I mean, although it's really, really cool, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world because it's like there's so much elastic in it. And I'm gonna have mechanical lenses in it and everything, so that's gonna be like a crazy suit. But I want this to just be like, you know, my comfortable suit I can throw on and just go to a con. Or maybe I'll even sell this suit. I don't know. But yeah. But even if I do sell the suit, I mean, I have the pattern now, so I can literally make a million of them. And you can, like, this is a very universal webbing I'm making here. You can put any spider on this. See it, like, it's big and then it's small, and a lot of suits do that. So really, you could make most Spider-Man costumes with this webbing. Like, if you just copy my webbing, I don't even care if you trace it. I mean, try to make your own webbing. But, you know, at the end of the day, I really don't care. But if you are tracing my webbing, please give me credit. I mean, I'm working hours and hours to get this perfect for you guys. So, yeah. Like, link them to my pattern base or something so they can learn, or this tutorial. That would be great. Like, if you learn something from this tutorial, even if it's the smallest thing, please share it so you can help your buddies out. I'm trying to make pattern making more accessible to people. You can go right here, kind of get that foot shape going. I don't know if I like that. I think we're just gonna bring this down and make this be the foot shape, kind of like a double purpose. And that looks like a foot shape right there, kind of. Not really, but we're gonna say that. And that outlines where you need to glue your sole, after you sew the boot, of course. So there is all the... I think I want to go and add another line of webbing right here. Just give it some more pizzazz, you know. Another thing you could do is have a neck zipper right here, and then you'd pull your mask forward. I don't know if I like that as much, or maybe you can add a neck seam right here and unzip it and then pull your mask back. I might even do like the U-zipper here, the U-zipper here, and then it goes down the neck a little, like I just trim it. That's harder probably, but you know, than just cutting the head off. Alright, so let's save. Because I don't know about you, but I think this looks pretty solid. Oh, we hit an hour already. We'll probably cut out some though. But like, this is already almost 2.5 hours of content just showing you how to make patterns. So please show your friends. Make it worth it. Alright, so horizontal, paths, right click, stroke path. This one's going to take a minute, so I'm not going to move my mouse at all. I don't want anything to crash. We're just chilling right now. Alright, that's pretty quick actually. Ah, wrong color. Damn it. Make sure you select the right color before you do that, Zach. You want your webbing to be black, right? That's, you know, kind of important. Unless you're doing a different suit that doesn't have black webbing. Now look at that. That looks legit. Definitely going to be selling this pattern with like a detached mask as well. So I'll figure out, I think I can figure out literally how to detach the mask for you guys during this tutorial. So we're going to do that. I think I'm just going to cut it off, like cut the neck up here. Maybe. Because that's like below the chin, so you could cut it off maybe right here, and that'd be enough of a neck. I just like to not cut off too much, because, like, think about it. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That correlates to the third one down on the red. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that might be enough. It's probably more than enough, but you can, like, fold it in and hem it down, because, you know, everyone has different neck sizes. And then I'll, like, cut the mask off right here, so it has, like, more than enough room to tuck in. Maybe even lower. This is probably too low, but yeah, right here looks like a good length. Because I like my masks to be long, so, like, when I bend my neck, they don't come untucked. Oh, like I said, we need to fix that there. So we're just going to use the dropper tool, or we can use the eraser since we're on the webbing layer. Oh, maybe we have a lock turned on? Oh, that's the vertical webbing. Oh, we have alpha turned on. Turn that off. And then we can just kind of, it's not perfect, but I mean, it looks good enough. You can't tell. Alright, so now we need to obviously mirror the webbing. So we're gonna select this. Remember, you gotta select this side first, because if you select the other side with it, then, like, you'll have the back webbing on the other side of your pattern, and you don't really need that. So yeah. And go all the way around. And now Control C, Control Shift V. You should know it by now, but if you don't, that's more than okay. Edit, transform, flip horizontal. Control T, and then hold Shift. Oh. And try to line that up. And then, of course, you're gonna have to zoom in, because you want it to be as even as possible. So this needs to come over a little. Probably like that. And you can always check by looking at, like, this part right here, because we know that that part's exact. So, but the only reason it might be exact is because we have a clipping mask on that. So, yeah. It looks good to me. I don't see any issues with it right now. It looks like it oversects, like, correctly, so I'm gonna hit OK on that. And then we are going to join these. Well, you gotta take off your clipping. I'm gonna join these. And then we're gonna add the clipping mask again, and it'll look all clean. And then we need to, you see these blue right here? These lines on the blue? How we can clean that up is we can right click the base, click select pixels, click on the blue, take away the alpha, select, inverse, Control X. See, it cleans it up a lot. I like my patterns to be clean. I like the seam allowance to be even. I like everything to look good. Because if you look at some patterns, the seam allowance will just be, like, painted all over around, just so, you know, Zentizone can guess. But I don't like doing that to them. I mean, you know, they don't want to do that. So for the, see, we forgot a piece of webbing right here, so let's add that. You can just add it with the brush. Just click and then hold Shift. Oh, that's weird. So it's not going. You know why? That's because we're on layer 3. We need to be on the vertical webbing layer. Click up here, click down here, bam. Now we have vertical webbing. Now we just gotta add the horizontal webbing. So we are going to just select a good chunk of it. Control C, Control Shift V, edit, transform, flip horizontal. There should be a hotkey for that. I don't know what it is. And then Control T, and then go on over. If you knew all the hotkeys, I'm sure you could do this a lot faster than me. I obviously don't, or, you know, I would tell you guys. That looks good right there. We're gonna check the bottom. That looks good down there, so we're gonna hit OK. Actually, yeah, that looks good. Let me zoom in. So we're gonna release this clipping mask and merge these layers and rename it Hors. Oh. Horizontal. I did not think about that. Whoops. And we still need the black right there. Why is that blue? Who thought that was a good idea? You know what we can do? We can go right here. And we can go on the red. Take this off. Get a brush. And make it like 8. I think 8 is a good number for the tracing of the thing. Bam. Look at that. Now it's a thick black border. And now we can, let's add a layer. And then this is underneath the webbing. We can go to this path and right click. Click stroke path. Actually, we want to do it with a value of 16, I think. Because then there'll be 8 on each side. That's not right. You'd think there would be more. What if we did 20? That's much better. And look, it just goes around the parts we need it. It's like right there. And it's right here. Ooh, it's not right there. That's weird. But we can fix that. Since we did 20, we just put this right here. And we get one that's a value of 10. And then we can just... Oh, that's thin, though. Why is that? Oh, it's because it's a clipping layer. So we're gonna have to... We're gonna have to do it on this layer instead. So we can just... Bam. And go over here. Bam. Oh, we forgot a little bit. That's okay. And then that's nice and thick. I wish they were all this thick, though. Maybe we can do something like that. What if we do like 30? Because like that thick black line looks really good. Oh yeah. That's basically the same as this now. That looks legit. Okay. Now we gotta naturally copy and paste. As always, what's new? So we select here. And we can just go all the way around. And remember, we don't really need more than that, so we can just go back up. And Control C, Control Shift V. And since it's between 2 clipping layers, it's already another clipping layer, so we can just go like that. And then Control T. Move it on over. This is a little harder to line up. But that looks good, so we're gonna hit OK. Wow. This is really going good. Oh, we gotta fix that over here, that's right. So we're gonna go get the eraser. We're gonna get rid of that right there. And there's that. Let's do the back now. So we're gonna go layer 7. And we can just use the like box selection for this. And then Control T and just get it to snap, and then all good. That all looks even. The back's a little thicker, but that's okay because we're gonna have that zipper right there. Or you can just totally forget about that and just use a zipper, and it'll kind of blend in with the black line as well. So that could be where your zipper goes. And the sides don't really matter because those are invisible zippers. So now all we gotta do is the hand webbing. So I'm gonna get rid of this because we don't need it anymore. Well, we might need it for a back spider, so we'll leave it. And then we might need that for a front spider. But I'm just making the base pattern right now because we're probably gonna make our spiders out of something else. Plain spiders aren't really that fun for me. But we can make the hand webbing. Palm webbing. So how I like to do it is I'll start at the thumb, and then I'll do the fingers like before. And I'll go in like that to get that shape. Because you're just going to copy this over here, like once you sew it. I'll paint the hands after you sew it. It'll be so much easier. And then like you can go like this. Now you can maybe curve these. Oh, that's not too even. That's better. And then now you go a different way. It's like a little artsy thing. But this is how I like to do my Spider-Man hand webbing. It's like a volleyball almost. Oop. And by all means, you can use GIMP for this. It's probably just like a little bit of a different process, but probably not too different. And then we went that way. Maybe we can go sideways now. Well, we better curve that first. So let's... Come on. There we go. Literally spent all day making this for you guys. I was gonna finish some files and stuff, but I was like, let's just, you know, do our tutorial. But it's only 11. I can stay up to like 2 and work on some files. It's chill. I gotta wake up at 6:30, but you know, it's fine. I like doing this. Oh, that's our... Well, we've decided we're not making a back spider for this pattern. But I will show you how to make spiders in a future tutorial. Because obviously we're going to need spiders for the suit. So I'm going to show you how to like make a good looking spider in Photoshop. That's just not today. And then maybe the other way. So like this. Ooh, that feels wrong. Doing it backwards like that. Like my wrist doesn't like it. I'm gonna start down here instead. I always liked like this texture on like Spider-Man's gloves. It makes him look like sticky. Like he has good grip. And this also will give you good grip because it's a lot of puff paint and that's grippy, so It's kind of like a double purpose if you think about it. And then how we're gonna do this is maybe just like just a few like this. This one needs to be. Look at that. Looks solid. So now we can go to this. We can just add a new layer. Oop. Clipping mask. And we will stroke the path. Whoa. We don't want it like that. We want it back to a 6. That's what I'm doing on my webbing as is a 6, because it's just like a good size for that. That looks good. Looks like comic-y. Well, I think we're gonna leave it there, and then I'll do the separating in another tutorial. So you guys have a good one. I'll remove this so you guys can see it. And there's the pattern that we have right now. So you guys enjoy, and like I said, in the next one we will be separating the colors. So stay tuned for that. Alright, welcome. Now we're doing part 3 of the pattern tutorial. We're gonna like slice it and dice it, if you feel me. So let's get started. So what we're doing is we need to file, save as, and then we'll do like pattern cut and save it, and like I don't know, we'll just save it here. Who cares? And because you want to save your original pattern just in case you want to, like, I don't know, what if you want to get that printed or something? It looks nice. So I'll save that, of course. And now it's time for the fun. We're going to merge this whole group. Ooh, palm webbing. Well, that's okay. We're not going to use that side anyway. So we're going to merge the whole group if we can. Bam. The red's one layer now. So if you remove the blue, well, we don't need the seam allowance and the notches and colors anymore. So if you remove the blue, look, your red piece is already separated. So we are going to, obviously we need to separate the blue now. So we're going to go like this, select pixels, select, invert, then we're going to select this, we're going to hit, or we can just, well, let's see, Control C, Control Shift V, delete this, and now you have the blue sections. But I don't like this big piece right here. That's not good. That's not going to work for us. So we need to get our line back in the middle. Oh, where am I? Why does it... You see that? That's weird. That's a weird glitch. I've never seen that before. But it's not actually affecting our pattern, so it's chill. Let's just align it over by the red. So we can just... Oh, it's perfectly in the middle. So we're going to add a line right here, like 6 pixels would work. And go all the way down. And then we don't need this anymore. So what we can do is separate, like add a seam right here, so it's 2 more manageable sections. And you can do like your textures going this way and your textures going this way, so it mixes it up a bit. So now what we can do is we can just grab our magic wand and grab that and grab this. That's so weird why it's doing that. And then we can just hit Control X. And as you can see, I have no idea why it's doing that. That's so weird. Because like this is the only... You see that? Isn't that weird? It's like a blue cube. Anyway, we don't need these. Because you only need one side of the pattern if you're doing a light table. So we only really need these. If you wanted to, you could split the back in half, but that's a pretty manageable piece. It's just the leg was way too big for me. And now, if you want to make variants of like seam lines and stuff, I would save it here as well. So file, save as, and then I'm just going to add a 2 at the end. Because like, this is where you could make it 7-piece. Well, you would have to edit the pants some, but you know, you still could. So I'm going to save it again, just to have another option where I can edit this, because I'm going to make a lot of variants of this pattern, so I want to be able to have a lot of backups, a lot of save points. So of course, that's what I'm going to do. And now we can do the same for the red. We don't need anything on this side. Obviously the chest is one big piece, so we need that. But like, we don't need this side of the mask, because we can just flip this one over when it's on our light table. It's just a waste of material. And now is when you're gonna start copying and pasting your pieces. So you're gonna hit Control X, then Control Shift V. Then we're going on to the next one. I'm gonna click this one, Control X, Control Shift V. Going on to the next one. And the next one. So now you can arrange these pieces however you like. So you can keep all the blues on one side if you want. I'll probably add text to mine so it's like obvious. Maybe I'll do the red on the top. Oh, I forgot I didn't separate my reds yet. I'm going to keep my blue over here for now just so it's out of the way. Because the red's a little bit more hard to separate because you got to like actually select it because of the webs. So you can hit Control X, Control Shift V, and then go back. You might want to make a group for each color. Control X, Control Shift V, and then over here. And right here. This is blue right here, so I think we are missing a bit of a web line right here, because this would sew right here, so we're missing a tiny web line on that seam line, but that's okay because you can puff paint over that. I just wanted to see if that was the case. And then obviously we need to separate these two less pieces, so we're going to do that. And after we separate, we're not done, because we still have a lot more left to do. And then we can just separate the shirt, and then this will be by itself. And then I'll put the detached mask pattern together so it doesn't get confused. And then I'll sell just the mask as well for people that just want a mask pattern. Because not everyone wants to make a whole suit, and that's reasonable. So we're going to get this together. And, yeah. So we can move these down here. You kind of want to try to like compact them as good as you can. And keep your similar parts together. Like this is the chest right here. This is the pant, leg. And if you compact them together, it means you'll just have to pay less to get it printed. Sometimes I like to have my red on a separate document than my blue. I know... Can we change the rulers? The measurement system they use? Yes. Inches would be good. Because I know you can print, I think it's 35 inches. Let me Google that real quick at Staples. 35 inches wide by as long as you need. So if this is formatted to be printed as staples, that would help. So let's see. So you can print up to like 36 by 48. Oh, this is a different thing. But still, that's only $6 on this website. So you can print blueprints at Staples, apparently. 36 by 48. See how much that costs out of curiosity. Because you can order your papers online. $36 by 48 is $7.56. That's cheaper than printing it another way. So maybe I'll format this to be 36 inches wide and then I'll just go down. So we are going to add some onto the bam. Oh, we need this to still be up here. So now we can try to get these in like a long fashion. So this can go here, and we'll have 36 right there so we know how far we can go. Oh, are these connected? Oh, we don't want that. I swear that these weren't connected. Yeah, because how would I get that up there? Do I have 2 layers selected? Yes, I do have 2 layers selected. And then we can go... And 48's right here, so maybe we can do 2 documents. Because it's just so much easier if you don't have to... Well, we'll have a detached mask as well, so we can... You know, move that over. I should have detached the mask first. But that's okay. We'll, do that now, I guess. So I was thinking that the neck should be here, so let me duplicate this piece. And then I can do... Make this neck go to here so I can get my magic wand. And I go... Oops. And then I can click select and then expand. And expand it by 15. And you can cut it. And then that is gone. So I can just get rid of that. And then there's your detached mask. Hopefully that's long enough. I think it is. And then so we have this connects here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that long enough? Let's add another row just in case. Because I'd rather have it be too long than not long enough. And this time we'll expand by 10. Oops, wrong button. I clicked this instead of this. We just gotta wait. So if you could print 2 documents of this for like 20 bucks, that'd be solid. Like print the reds on one and the blues on another. Granted, they'd be black and white. Am I frozen? No, it's just being weird. So we'll just get rid of that. So we're gonna delete this top section just in case you want like a long collar. And then we'll expand by 10 so it's not too much getting cut off. Or can we do 5? Perfect. Expanding by 5 is the perfect number. So that's good. And then we can cut the rest of that off. And then we gotta duplicate this as well. And then we gotta move that. We'll just put it over here for now. And then we also gotta duplicate this, because we need to trim this as well. Okay, lots of pieces. So now we need to get the mask off of this. So I'm thinking like, if this goes up to here, and if we cut the mask down here, that would be good. So we could cut it right here. So if we grab our magic wand and cut this, that should be a long enough mask. Maybe a little lower. Do you think that's good? I don't want it to be too short, because you can always make it shorter if you need to. Yeah, that looks good. And then we'll just delete the rest of this. Oh, we might need this kind of lasso, since it's like a weird shape. Alright, so there's our mask right here. And then we need to make the pieces for the mask. So I wish I would have counted. Well, it's not too late, because this lines up right here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we cut off this. So we need to cut off these. Oh, I messed up. We need to select the piece first. So let me just make sure that that would be correct. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the 7th, it would be here. Select, modify, expand 5. Get rid of that. And then we can just get rid of the rest right there. Oh, that's not gonna work. Well, you can go like this. And then you can go like this. And then bam. That was a ultra cool move right there. And then what we can do is edit this piece. So we have, this one will be easier since it's right next to it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, this is what worries me, is the this back of the neck looks real short, but it should be okay. One, two, three, four, five, 6. So on the 7th, you would cut it. Oh, this is for the mask, so this is a good length, actually. That's right. So that's like the rest of the mask, and then that would go down your neck. Okay, and then this wraps around your head. So that should be okay. Maybe I should add another. I don't know, the neck is pretty long, it should be alright. And then, obviously, we only need one of these. So let's put these together right here so we don't get stuff mixed up. So there's the mask. And here's the shirt. So now we gotta edit this piece. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's make sure we got this still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we delete the 6th one. Well, I'm doing it like this time for some reason. Bam. So that's part of the neck. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's still 5. And make sure you click on it first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6. We delete that. See, that's more than good for a neck. Because everywhere above this is just going up your neck. This is your shoulder right here. I mean, your shoulder probably stops about here and then it goes up your neck. That didn't expand nearly enough. Let's do like another 2. Not quite. Maybe we'll just do like a 4. Barely. And then we'll just delete these. Bam. So we're gonna put this here. And we're gonna put this here. And I'm gonna have to put text all over this for the part on my Etsy, like text that shows how it goes together. This can go here. I would really like this to be up here actually, so maybe the arm can go below it. And then this can go up here. Maybe these can go up here. I would like these to stick with the mask if they can. Because that 36 by 48 is what we're trying to fit into. Put this up here. And that way it fit. Oh, the boot. Well, that's not going to fit. Well, maybe the boot can fit with the blues. So 48 and 48 is 96. So here's our cutoff for 48. Here's our cutoff. Whoa, get back here. For 96. Does this even go to 96? Oh, yeah. So the boot should fit in there. I'm just trying to make this easy to print for you guys. Ooh, I think the boot will barely fit. Maybe if we rearrange some pieces. Oops. Let's just put this up here. And these can go down here. I forgot I can rotate stuff. I really can't see what I'm doing here because it's gray, so we might need to fill the or scale up the background a little so we can kind of see what we're doing. Well, actually some of these pieces could fit up here. Well, I really only need this piece to go up there. And I could rotate it. Oh. I'm confused why Control T isn't working anymore. See? What is that doing? Making my rulers... Oh, I'm hitting Control R. But I still have... Oh, why does that have such a big box? Look at that, that fits in there. It might even fit up by the chest, where it's supposed to go. What if we just put it up there? No, because then the seam allowance will fit right there probably. And then this, we have to rotate for sure. And then that goes in there. So you could fit it in 236 by 48s and get it printed by a blueprint size for 20 bucks. And then you have your pattern, and you can just keep using that to make a bunch of suits. And let's space these out a little nicer. I'll probably put the text in the seam allowance. So what we're going to do... So now we're gonna probably merge all these layers. That's what we'll do. So we're gonna hide this. Oh, the belt. We might need that, huh? But I got a perfect spot for it right here. Alright, so now we gotta hide this, and then we can merge visible. Perfect. Now we can select pixels, edit, and then, or select, modify, expand. And I found a value of like 40 to be good. That might be too big. Let's look at the gloves. No, that's perfect. Just enough seam allowance to, you know, be manageable. And then we can click edit. We have black selected. Good. Fill. And then foreground color. And there's seam allowance will be black. And then what you do is if you're printing on colored fabric or regular fabric, just stop here and you can get it printed just like this. So maybe I'll, I don't know why this is here. Let's get rid of that. I don't like my patterns to be ugly. Well, this isn't big enough. And then we would need this. So you could do this for colored probably. Let's make sure nothing's like intersecting. Alright. So we're gonna save that. File, save as. And we're gonna do pattern, finished, colored. But we're not trying to do colored. We're trying to do you know, for a light table. And these, you don't want these colors for a light table. That's also going to be expensive to print. So we can do select color range, and we can do this, and we can add another color, and we can do this. Okay. And then you can hit white. Actually, no, we can just go like this. Control X. Hang on, we need to merge these first. And then now we can select color range. Now we can control X, and it's transparent, so you can print it on any colored fabric. And you just have to specify which is the blue sections. You can just say the blue sections is the one without webs. So you could get this printed if you wanted to. There's no way they would be able to sew it for you, because they would not know what the hell is going on. But yeah. And I'm gonna add a background color just so I can kind of like, I like brown, so we're gonna do a brown. Just so we can kind of see what's going on. I don't know if I like that brown, but it looks like cardboard kind of, so I guess we'll roll with it. So you can see that this can get printed in just 2 sheets. And if you look at, is this Staples? Yeah, staples.com. You can get 2 36 by 48s for $7.56. So you can probably go to, yeah, it says not suitable for photo images. Probably that means like, you know, like high detail stuff. But I don't see why it wouldn't work for this, because it's just black and white. Maybe you can print at poster size still. Let's see. And 36 by 48, so you can indeed still print at 36 by 48 even in full color at Staples. So yeah, you can just print these out. Go to your local Staples, and yeah. So this should be the end of that tutorial. You do want to click File. Well, obviously get rid of this because you don't want that. And then let's save as finished clear, I guess. Press OK. And then we're going to have to do this kind of a wonky way. So first we are going to get rid of this. And then we're going to crop it. And it'll snap to your rulers, or it should. Yeah, it does. And you hit OK. And then you can do File, Save As, and then PDF. I'm just gonna put it on my desktop, and we'll go suit page 1. I don't care. Go away. Alright, so there's that. And now we have this again. Just hit Control Z and click the button again. And now you can crop it to this size. 48 and 48 is 96, correct? 40 and 40 is 80, and yeah, it has to be. These look equal anyway, so. Now this really should be. Let's see, just out of curiosity. 0, 48, so it's a little less than 48 actually. It's like 47, whatever, it would fit probably. So yeah, and then it's 36, and then we got some room on the sides. The File, Save As, and then go back to PDF, because it doesn't auto-select it. And then you can go suit page 2. Go to your desktop, and then save. Don't show again. Okay. Save PDF. And there you go. I'm still gonna go back and add all like the labels in white. and then I'll select them and make them clear so they can print on, because what if you, I don't know, what if you print it on a weird colored paper? So I can do like top of boot, and then over here I can do bottom of boot, I can do crotch, and then I'll do like bottom of belt, butt, leg, and they'll have like numbers where they connect, like 1A, 1B, 1A, 1B, or maybe 1A, 2A. Each part has a letter and a number, like several numbers but one letter. So now we have, go away. So now we have this. If it'll open. It probably will soon. And if you go back to our old document, oh, let's cancel that. We need to go back before we save. Yeah, we can save here. We want it to be like this one we saved, so we have all the pieces just in case we need to edit something. So file, we're gonna open recent, and we're gonna do this probably. Yeah, that's good. And if you look at the image size, or you can even measure here with a ruler. Where is it? There is a ruler tool somewhere. Yeah. You can measure in a straight line and see how tall the pattern is. It's about, oh, that's in pixels, damn it. Oh, 73 inches in total. So that's 6 feet. But remember that this head part is going to wrap around your head. So you would be fine. Because like this would probably be at the top of your head right here. And then this would go back. Because this is usually literally at like the top of your head. And remember, this would get pushed forward and stuff. So this is scaled properly already. So once you trim it and everything, it's fine. And then here's the pattern. And all you can do to print it, let me show you right now just in case you want to do that early. You can do print. Once it loads. And then you can do poster. And see how it's like a bunch of pages? And then make sure you have these settings. And basically, you just cut them out and tape them together. And then it would be good. But it would just be easier to, like, or cheaper to buy just big prints of it. Like, go to Staples and just pay for them. I might even do that tomorrow. Or Office Depot, maybe. I don't know if I have a Staples near me. I went to one yesterday, but that was like a half hour away. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoy. And you have a good one.